Manitoba, happy Tuesday. It is August 19th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Joseph Bernacki is going to do something pretty incredible today. He's going to hang out with people who are going to scale down from a building, the Manitoba Hydro building, in fact. And we're going to hear a little bit more about who it's supporting. It's all for the Easter seals and Manitoba Possible. So we're going to find out a little bit more about what's happening there today. It's going to be a day filled with action and excitement, as well as where that money raised will go to. But first, your headlines. After 3 days of job action, Air Canada and its flight attendants have reached a tentative deal, but thousands of travelers are still waiting to find out when flights will get back on schedule. An old fire-ravaged building on Logan Avenue has been sitting in ruins for years, but now the city's stepping in with demolition crews. And who needs Formula One when you've got Formula Lawn, 12 hours of lawnmower mayhem in the UK. All right, bringing in Terry. Now we got lots of rain, so there's going to be a need to cut some lawn because the grass is growing again.
Yeah, no surprise there. And a little bit of heat now with some sunshine. Eventually, we do have some heavier clouds hanging over us first thing, but I think later on today, those clouds will be gone. It's 18 degrees at the moment with winds out of the west, 6 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 98%. So yes, extra clouds hanging around for now, but as the day goes on, clouds will be clearing, sunshine to take its place. Not much to show you here on the satellite image because there's really not much going on today aside from the clouds. That's it. And once they clear, there's nothing left. So we'll be enjoying that sunshine today, slightly milder temperatures. Today, tomorrow, we're still going to notice that mercury on the rise. For those of you that are thinking high 20s is a little bit much, you only have to wait a few more days before we're going to see some cooler temperatures moving in, and only, well, less time than that before we see another round of precipitation. So here we're starting to look into Wednesday morning, and you can see through parts of central Manitoba the beginnings of a little bit of shower activity. So that'll cut through central Manitoba throughout the day Wednesday. Tomorrow we're still going to be enjoying clearer, sunnier conditions here in Winnipeg and parts of northern Manitoba. A better chance of that precipitation really coming through on Thursday for us, and not just here in the south, northern Manitoba, you too will be getting some of that as well. Temperatures, like I said, will be on the rise for the next couple of days, but then that cool down is coming just on the other side of some storms on Thursday, and there you can see below seasonal temperatures as we look ahead to the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Breaking news this morning, Air Canada and the union representing its flight attendants have reached a deal. UP posting this announcement to its members today, writing, "The strike has ended. We have a tentative agreement we will bring forward to you. We're required to advise our membership that we must fully cooperate with resumption of operations." This comes after 3 days of job action by flight attendants who have been picketing outside of major airports across the country. They were demanding higher wages and to be paid when planes are grounded. Air Canada had offered a 38% increase in pay over 4 years and an hourly raise of between 12 and 16% in the first year of the contract. No word yet on the details of the final agreement, but union members will need to vote on it to make it permanent. If they vote it down, the strike could resume. A large eyesore on Logan Avenue could soon be coming down. The former Anco lumber building was destroyed by fire in 2023, and for 2 years the rubble has just sat there. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the city is now set to demolish the structure and clean up the site.
Fire tore through Anco lumber on Logan Avenue in 2023. 2 years later, the building's massive skeleton and large piles of debris remain on the 1.1-acre lot.
It's this eyesore, and I don't know, I'd love to see it gone.
Richard Elias is the co-manager of this truck repair shop next door. He says the property attracts people looking for scrap metal.
Like, there's 2 stories. I've seen people on the second floor just rummaging through things, worried they're going to fall.
Now there's a plan to clean up the property. The City of Winnipeg is seeking a contractor to demolish what's left of the building and remove all of the material. Ward Councillor and Community Services Committee Chair Vivian Santos says the city has received complaints from businesses and residents about the mess.
It's a blight on our city, especially on Logan Avenue. It's a commercial district. So we have businesses and residences that are very concerned for either vagrant activity, fires.
According to the city, a wet demolition is required. That's a process to safely remove asbestos. The city has set aside $750,000 for the work. Santos says unless the owner can do the demolition before the contract is awarded, the city will get it done and charge the owner the costs.
Once it's been fulfilled, then they'll put the bill on the property tax.
This wouldn't be the first time. The city has been hiring crews to demolish other vacant fire-ravaged buildings after owners have failed to take action in a timely way. For this building and rubble, Richard Elias is happy bulldozers could soon be on the way.
A relief, yeah. In the end, very much relieved that it'll be taken care of.
Companies can bid on the contract to demolish the building until the closing date of August 29th. CTV News spoke with a real estate agent representing the owner, who tells us they aren't commenting. The University of Manitoba is denying it had inadequate security measures after a convicted sex offender allegedly assaulted a student in her dorm room last year. In October 2024, Winnipeg police allege a 46-year-old man entered a dorm room within a student residence building on campus and attacked a woman. Several months after the incident, the woman filed a civil claim against the university for an unspecified amount in damages. She alleges the university was negligent and failed to supervise the premises to prevent access by the perpetrator, and that she was sexually and physically assaulted as a result. However, in its statement of defense, the university said the woman's failure to lock her door caused the perpetrator to gain entry to her room, and not because of a security failure by the university. In a statement to CTV News, the university said it has multiple supports and security measures in place for students, staff, and faculty. The university is calling for the woman's claim to be dismissed with costs. It's official. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is headed back to Parliament.
Grateful that I will have the chance to be their humble servant, to fight every day and in every way for the people in this region who feed, power, and protect all of Canada.
Poilievre will represent the central Alberta riding of Battle River Crowfoot after winning Monday's by-election. With more than 99% of polls reporting, Elections Canada showed Poilievre as having 80.4% of the vote. The next closest candidate has just under 10%. In his victory speech, Poilievre also thanked former MP Damien Kurek, who had originally won this riding, but stepped aside so Poilievre could run. Poilievre lost his Ottawa area seat in April, which he has held for 20 years. Doctors in Quebec's eastern townships have found what they think is the first case of Rocky Mountain fever transmitted in Quebec. Rocky Mountain fever is a bacterial disease spread through the bite of an infected tick. It's common in the U.S., but less common in Canada, and it's never been seen in Quebec. A common symptom is a rash that develops a few days after a high fever. If it's not treated, the disease can lead to amputations, hearing loss, and brain damage. A Hamas official says it has accepted a proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza from Arab mediators who have sent the proposal to Israel as the Israeli forces prepare for a ground offensive on Gaza's largest city. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu describes Gaza City as the final stronghold of Hamas. But the Israeli military has warned expanding the offensive could endanger hostages and draw troops into deadly guerrilla warfare. Fears grow of that imminent ground offensive. Thousands of Palestinians are fleeing Gaza City, which is now under constant bombardment. The Marshall Islands have made history playing their first ever international soccer match.
Number 9 striker role yesterday. And now it looks to be almost...
The Marshall Islands are a Pacific Island nation, home to about 40,000 people. Last week, they played the U.S. Virgin Islands and lost 4-0. But on Sunday, they played Turks and Caicos and lost a close one, 3-2. The game was held in Arkansas, which is a place where there's many expats from Marshall Islands. So while they lost, no one was disappointed as players and fans got to share the moment together. You'll need a lawnmower and a lot of stamina to enter this race. This is the annual 12-hour lawnmower race in the UK. These drivers have 12 hours of race time. Competitors stop every 45 minutes to pull into the pit lane, refuel, and fix damages to the mower or to the drivers. It runs all through the night, and whoever makes the most laps around the track wins. But most drivers say just making it to the end is a victory. Here's a look now what's happening along Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are starting off pretty smooth here in this part of the city. Just one car. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who's going to tell us all about a really cool event that's happening today where people are doing something pretty incredible by rappelling down the Manitoba Hydro building. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, as Rochelle mentioned, there's lots of Manitobans who are a lot more brave than I am that are going to be rappelling down the side of Manitoba Hydro Place in just about an hour and a half's time. Just after 7:30, we're going to have some of the first people rappelling, all in support of Manitoba Possible. They're celebrating a couple of really exciting anniversaries this year. It's going to be the 20th year for people rappelling down the side of the building, so we're going to talk a little bit about that after 6:30, as well as 75 years for the organization, so certainly a milestone year. To my left, volunteers have already started bringing out the tables, getting equipment ready for people that are going to be signing up. Of course, each participant that's rappelling had to fundraise a certain amount. Of course, there's work groups that are going to be here. We're going to hopefully speak with one much later on in the show today. We're going to head up to the rooftop. Hopefully, the weather will be nice today for the people rappelling, and we'll be back in about half an hour's time, so stay tuned.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you, Joseph, and hopefully it's not too windy for those people as they rappel down that building.
Well, of course there is. You're right. You don't want strong winds. You don't want rain, because then you're going to be slipping. You don't want it to be too hot. It won't be. I mean, it will get warm today, but I think the bulk of this activity is going to be happening in the morning hours. And you don't want to be blinded by the sunshine. You won't be. We've got some heavier clouds hanging around. Only for now. Later today, if you got the afternoon shift, you might feel the heat and see the sunshine too, but first thing this morning, some heavier clouds kicking around. It's 18 degrees at the moment with winds on the lighter side. They're just 2 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 98%. You will notice the humidity. That's the first thing that I noticed when I stepped outside. It's just kind of that heavy, damp air that we're waking up to this morning. The clouds, they're not going to be lasting throughout the day today, maybe through the morning hours, but into the afternoon, increasing amounts of sunshine, increasing temperatures. We're certainly going to be feeling that today with the mercury on the rise, reaching above seasonal. 24 degrees is normal for this time of year. We're likely to get up to about 26 today. Across most of the province, we'll eventually see that sun shining. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Manitoba will begin offering a single-dose immunization for RSV this fall. Currently, the RSV immunoprophylaxis program for high-risk infants uses a multi-dose antibody treatment. But starting October 1st, a provincial spokesperson tells CTV the program will begin offering a long-lasting monoclonal antibody that lasts a full season. The switch comes more than a year after Canada's National Advisory Committee recommended the switch. RSV season typically runs from late fall to early spring, with most cases between December and March. This year has been one of the worst for wildfires in this country, and things don't appear to be improving.
Wildfires have consumed an area roughly the size of New Brunswick. And to put it in perspective, this is about double the usual average.
Government officials are warning of an increased risk of more wildfire activity, with above average seasonal temperatures persisting over the next 3 months in much of the country. Currently, there are more than 700 wildfires burning in Canada. 68 of them are considered out of control, and the National Wildland Fire Preparedness level is at 5, meaning there's firefighters and equipment being used in every province and territory. In Nova Scotia, an out-of-control wildfire is one of several burning in the province, has forced the evacuation of some 100 homes in West Dalhousie. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth is in the area where the fire has been raging for days.
Rob Howie is back at work after scrambling over the weekend with his wife and 2 children. As fire trucks raced towards West Dalhousie, Howie traveled in the opposite direction as an out-of-control wildfire burned near his home.
I've been living in a camper up over the mountain.
According to Nova Scotia's Department of Natural Resources, the wildfire has grown to more than 3 square kilometers and more than 100 homes are evacuated. Annapolis County remains under a state of emergency. Howie applauds the provincial firefighters, volunteers, and crews from other provinces who are working in dangerous conditions.
Couldn't be doing a better job, and I tell you, there's a lot of brave, hard-working people putting a lot of effort into it. They couldn't be doing any better.
Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow says many people are now thanking the firefighters for the work being done.
We're continuing to see extreme positivity and clapping whenever they see fire trucks.
Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston says the efforts to douse water on homes in the area to keep them from burning is working.
Our teams spent a good part of the weekend setting up preventative measures.
This area received some rain, not a lot by Nova Scotia standards, but any amount of rainfall helps the firefighters as they continue to battle the wildfire in very hot and dry conditions.
It definitely did help, and we finally had rain on the site.
But more rain and hard work around the clock will be needed before this wildfire is under control. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, West Dalhousie, Nova Scotia.
Toronto is rallying behind the mother of 8-year-old Jave Roy, who was killed by a stray bullet over the weekend.
This is finally the point where people are fed up and had enough.
Youth initiatives across Toronto are urging for swift political and corrective action to end the endless cycle of violence in the city. Toronto's police chief visited with the Roy family over the weekend, and Toronto's mayor, Olivia Chow, has vowed action. Marcel Wilson, family spokesperson, says he urges those angered by the shooting to not pick up a gun in revenge. A candlelight vigil for Jave will be held on Thursday outside of the Roy household. A woman known as the Ketamine Queen is pleading guilty to selling the fatal dose of the drug that killed Matthew Perry. The Canadian actor was found dead in his Los Angeles home in 2023. The medical examiner ruled ketamine, which is used as a surgical anesthetic, was the primary cause of death. Prosecutors cast the 42-year-old woman as a prolific drug dealer. She had been scheduled to go on trial in September. Eastern coastal areas are bracing for the heavy rain and wind expected from Hurricane Erin.
What's coming could be unprecedented.
The Category 4 storm has caused evacuations in North Carolina's Outer Banks and is threatening 6-meter waves. While Erin is not likely to make landfall in Canada, coastal areas are still likely to face high surf and strong rip currents. Erin has been predicted to be the first major hurricane of what could be an active tropical storm season. A family in North Bay has built a love-themed rock garden, and people are enamored with the sentiment.
In Aberdeen, they stop by with their dogs, and they've actually taken pictures of their own families in front of the garden itself.
The garden honors husband and wife Larry and Teresa as they celebrate their 66th wedding anniversary in a little over a month. Their love-themed garden features handmade decor, a stone heart, and love spelled in rocks. That's beautiful. Here's a look at what's happening along McPhillip Street. Things appear to be moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems out there, though, please let us know.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
And looking now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. That looks a little bit gloomy out there. Heavier clouds hanging around for now. They won't be lasting through the day, I doubt. We'll be seeing them clearing out probably about midday, so they might be lasting through the morning hours, but things will look a lot brighter later on today. And with those extra clouds, we're still waking up to very mild temperatures. A normal low would be around 11 degrees, all of us well above that. From 14 degrees, our coolest temperature in Melita right now, and in Gimli, oh no, pardon me, we've got 13 degrees right now in Dauphin, up to 18 degrees here in Portage and in Portage. So yes, we're feeling warmer than you would expect to kick off your morning, and a little bit muggier too. For northern Manitoba, most places are in those double digits. Considerably cooler over in Thompson, 6 degrees for you to begin the day. There will be some clearing there as well all across the province. Eventually some sunshine, even if we do have these heavier clouds to kick off our morning. And here's a look at how the temperatures will be warming up through the day today, and they certainly will. We'll reach above seasonal today, likely getting up into those low 20s. This is by noontime today, and even northern Manitoba, high teens and low 20s into the afternoon, topping out at about 26, which is a couple of degrees above seasonal. 24, that's normal for this time of year here in much of southern Manitoba. So 26 today. up to 29 tomorrow, and then a round of storms expected by Thursday. Following that, you'll see a drop off with those temps. Cooler looking ahead to the weekend. Speaking of cool, well, stunning, really. Out of Barons River First Nation, imagine camping under those stars in the beautiful northern lights. Thanks to Lottie for the photo. Keep them coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Monarch butterflies are getting ready for their annual migration to Mexico, and there are ways you can help. CTV's Alexandra Hollick explains.
Whether you're 8, 9, or 89, the magic of monarch butterflies can be captivating.
I think it's a really cool animal, or insect, I should say.
It's amazing what they do. You don't know what they're going to do.
The orange and black-winged creatures are gearing up for their annual migration to Mexico. But for now, they're spending time at a Stratford park.
The butterflies that you see throughout the summer are here to basically enjoy their summer vacation. The monarchs we're seeing now, the eggs that are being laid now, are what we call the super generation. They're going to be slightly bigger.
Barb Hacking has been raising monarchs for over 40 years. She says she does it to educate others about the endangered species and its dwindling population.
2 years ago, the population in Mexico was down again. And this year they're saying, oh, it's doubled. But they have to realize it's doubled from not very many to begin with.
Experts say monarchs thrive in areas full of milkweed, and the best way to keep the population going is by planting milkweed in your own garden. But a new research study from the University of Guelph suggests there are other steps that can be taken on a global level.
That includes a collaborative multi-million-dollar approach between Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
The conservation of the species is really a shared effort between the three countries because monarchs move between these three countries over the annual cycle.
The study suggests investing $150 million over 5 years, with majority going toward replenishing milkweed habitats in the U.S. Midwest.
And then in the fifth year, you would actually allocate funds both in southern Ontario and the prairie provinces of Canada, as well as in Mexico, where the butterflies overwinter.
With the hopes that millions of milkweed plants will bring millions more monarch butterflies.
If you plant for them, they will come.
Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Stratford.
If you love great food and great football, this is something you won't want to miss. Exceldor is serving up the ultimate game day package, a delicious chicken mix pack to enjoy at home, fun merchandise, and 2 tickets to see the Bombers take the field on September 6th. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word chicken. Good luck.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
All right, we do have some extra clouds hanging around this Tuesday morning, but it's a very mild start to your day, well above seasonal. Normal lows would be around 11 degrees, but we're starting out at 18. We've got a bit of a breeze. It's out of the north, 2 kilometers per hour. With the pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 98%. And not much to show you here on the satellite image. There's really not much activity going on. Once these clouds clear, we'll see a little more sunshine, and we'll start to feel the warmth of it too. I know we've had a couple of below seasonal days, but I think that all changes today. With above seasonal temperatures on tap, we'll head to a high of 26 degrees. The clouds will clear. We'll see increasing amounts of sunshine and the winds out of the north, but they'll be remaining on the lighter side. Overnight still with those very light winds dropping down to 16 degrees as those clouds continue to clear. So great night for stargazing tonight. And we've got to be getting close to what's coming up. Oh, a new moon. So I was going to say, no, we're not going to be seeing much because it's disappearing. Anyway, so 16 degrees, but that just means the stars will be better on display if you do want to go out and check them out. 29 degrees for tomorrow, even hotter than today, with a mix of sun and cloud and a bit more of a breeze. Those winds tomorrow out of the south will be up to 40 kilometers per hour. From there, good chance of some precipitation to roll through on Thursday. Showers, maybe some thunderstorms. Still with the above seasonal temperatures, but only for another day. Those temps will be dropping off pretty drastically and not even hitting the 20-degree mark as we're looking ahead to the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Investigators are trying to determine the origin of skeletal remains found in northern Manitoba. The remains were discovered Saturday near the community of Tataskwiak Cree Nation. The lake has seen low water levels recently, making the remains visible in the sand. Mounties say the skeletal remains are historical. They've called in an anthropologist to find out how old the bones are and how they ended up there. The investigation is now underway. Crews at a St. Vital area fire station are being temporarily relocated due to road work, and the firefighters union says it could result in some delays.
Any interruption in apparatus availability in your neighborhood is going to result in extended response times.
The engine and personnel at Station 26 on Dakota will be working out of Station 14. That's because they won't be able to enter or exit the station for around 2 days due to work being done on the road right outside. While the union is concerned about response delays, the chief of the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Services tells CTV it strives to ensure effective coverage. The closest unit is assigned for time-dependent calls, but may not be coming from the station closest to the incident. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Ontario Premier Doug Ford are giving their meeting in Ottawa Monday rave reviews.
Very good meeting with the Premier. We had a great discussion. Nothing happens immediately in that room.
Carney and Ford's meeting focused on making Canada more globally competitive. They also talked about the automotive and steel industries, as well as the future of the AI sector. Trade Minister Dominic Leblanc was in the room for yesterday's meeting, but left without answering questions about the state of negotiations with the U.S. Ford also said he doesn't have plans to travel to Washington anytime soon. Ford was also in Ottawa for the Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference Monday. He's urging more Ontario municipalities to put an end to remote work and to make staff go back to the office 5 days a week. This comes less than a week after Ontario announced all members of the public service would be returning to the office full-time in the new year. It's official. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is headed back to Parliament.
I am grateful that I will have the chance to be their humble servant, to fight every day and in every way for the people in this region who feed, power, and protect all of Canada.
Poilievre will represent the central Alberta riding of Battle River Crowfoot after winning Monday's by-election. With more than 99% of polls reporting, Elections Canada showed Poilievre as having 80.4% of the vote. The next closest candidate has just under 10%. In his victory speech, Poilievre also thanked former MP Damien Keurig, who had originally won this riding but stepped aside so Poilievre could run. Poilievre lost his Ottawa area seat in April, which he had held for 20 years. Take a paddle down the Seine River and you might come across more than just Mother Nature. Garbage and other hazards are clogging up some portions of the urban waterway. And now a neighborhood group is cleaning it up, and its efforts are catching the attention of City Hall. CTV's Harrison Shin explains.
I try to come at least maybe once a week, bring pets and walks and all that kind of stuff.
Dixie Funk walks her dog at Morier Park on the Seine River in St. Boniface. On Monday, she was frustrated by the amount of litter.
I picked up a blanket and some clothing. I got some more garbage in here. But it was along the river in the back towards the bush.
And the bank is not the only dumping site here.
As the river levels fluctuate, this year exceptionally low water levels in the spring, some of the foreign material like concrete and steel are exposed.
Daniel says the debris also harms boats traveling the river.
And we did have a couple boats damaged.
That can cost thousands of dollars in repairs.
That's not what you'd expect to have boats exposed to. But the damage can be pretty severe for thin-skin boats, like perhaps fiberglass or cedar strip canoes.
Now, he and a group of river lovers are asking for help.
We're asking for volunteers to help us identify the locations and what type of material that needs to be removed. And then depending on that location, it might need heavy equipment. It might be a winter event where we don't do any damage to the shoreline and we get larger pieces of equipment to that remote location. Some of it could be done with hand tools.
Daniel says recently Mayor Scott Gillingham took interest in their project, something his office confirms.
The issue of this was raised by some of the paddlers with the mayor, and the mayor approached us after and said, I'd like to keep up to date on what's happening and what we could do to assist.
Dog walker Dixie Funk says she would love to see the park return to its former glory.
I honestly can't say that it was dirty. There was not the garbage. This main area, has been, just kind of amping up a bit with the garbage.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Here's a look at what's happening along Portage Avenue. Things are still quite light over here. Overall, moving well. No issues to tell you about. If you have any traffic tips to share, please let us know. And let's take a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.35. The provincial average is $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.33. The lowest price in the city is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Manitoba Hydro Place is a really cool building to look at, but not climbing down from, and a lot of people are doing that. They're rappelling down the building today. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. Always a pleasure to chat with Stephanie Pendleton. She is the fundraising specialist for Manitoba Possible. Great to see you again this morning.
Great to see you. Thanks for having us.
For people who have never had a chance to see people rappel down Manitoba Hydro Place, talk to all of us about what's going to be happening today.
Sure. So this is our 20th year of the Drop Zone event in Winnipeg. We're so excited. From 7:30 to about 4:30 today, we have 60 rappellers rappelling 272 feet down the Manitoba Hydro building, all raising funds for Manitoba Possible.
And fundraisers have to raise a particular amount of funds. Talk to us about how they fundraise and where those proceeds go.
Sure. So we have lots that ask family and friends. We have lots of sponsors. Some of them do little fundraisers on their own, different things at their work, which is great. Our sponsors are fantastic, and they even fundraise above and beyond with their workplaces. And all the funds raised support our accessible recreation and camps, as well as our accessible technology program.
20 years for this event. Does it seem unbelievable when you think back that there we were, and now here we are 20 years later?
It is crazy. We have a lot of the team members that have been a part of this event since the beginning. We started down on Portage at the RBC building originally, and the event's raised over $1.8 million so far, so it's made a huge impact in the province.
What's happening just to our right here with the TAC-10 team?
So TAC-10 runs all of our rope line and rigging systems, so they are just setting up a training trailer so our rappellers get to practice a little bit, get used to the equipment again, and then head up to the roof.
And Manitoba Possible, if people aren't familiar with the great work your organization does, kind of encapsulate what the organization stands for.
Sure. So we have 14 different programs and services across the province supporting children, youth, and adults with disabilities. And all the proceeds today, like I said, support our accessible and inclusive summer camps, as well as our assistive technology program, which is really important for over 55,000 clients across the province.
And Stephanie, some of those first rappellers, as you mentioned, they're going to be going down right around 7:30, is that right?
They are, yeah. We'll start at 7:30. They should be arriving soon. Hopefully excited, not too scared, but it's always a great day and super fun to see everybody's reaction.
Always great to see you. Stephanie will be chatting with us later on in the show. The views from the rooftop of Manitoba Hydro Place are spectacular. We're hoping to head up there shortly in the 7 o'clock hour. Stay tuned up for your Tuesday CTV Morning Live.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. And Terry, you rappelled down the building. I did so in 2013. It's not as scary as it looks.
No, I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun, but I'm not somebody that has any issues with heights either. Like, for me, I just found it to be an invigorating rush. But, I mean, I guess depending on what your comfort level is, right?
Exactly, yeah.
What a great day for it. I mean, it's not too hot. It's a little bit muggy first thing this morning, but it's not like we're dealing with the sun and the heat and then the muggy conditions. We do have some extra clouds hanging around right now, making it actually feel a little bit cooler. And the fact that the sun has only just begun to rise at 6:24. So it's hidden right now behind the clouds, which are on the heavier side. 18 degrees is where we're sitting with north winds very light, just 2 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 98%. These clouds, they're blocking the sunshine right now, but they likely won't be later on today. Clearing out, making way for that sunshine in abundance. Later on into the afternoon, very clear conditions are expected, and that'll continue overnight as well. And the mercury will be on the rise, probably hitting above seasonal, not just here in the south, right up into northern Manitoba. I'm talking mid to almost high 20s. It's going to be a warm one today, so brace yourself for that. It's going to be a sunny one too, so grab those sunglasses and have them ready. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing to a lower open on Wall Street. Dow futures are down 10 points. NASDAQ futures are lower too, off by 33 points. S&P futures are also in the red, down 7. The Canadian dollar is seeing a slight increase this morning. Overseas, the Hang Seng has fallen 53 points, and Japan's Nikkei is down 168. Good morning, it is 6:45. Winnipeggers are largely satisfied with life in the city, but safety and road repairs remain among the top concerns. This according to the annual Resident Satisfaction Survey. 86% of respondents say their quality of life is either good or very good. As you can see, that number is largely on par with previous years and has gone up for the first time in 4 years. And when it comes to customer service, 3/4 of Winnipeggers feel the city is doing a good job. Snow removal also got a passing grade, continuing a year-over-year trend. When it comes to city services, things get a little more complicated. Again, the majority here, 72%, are very or somewhat satisfied, but that's also the 5th straight year of decline. And a closer look reveals why. Satisfaction with rush hour traffic has plunged. The condition of major streets also down, and residential streets is even lower. And ease of getting around by transit has also dropped below 50%. And it's worth noting this survey was done before the city overhauled the transit system. And then there's safety. 58% of people feel safe walking around their own neighborhood, the lowest level in at least 5 years. And when it comes to downtown, only 12% feel safe walking alone at night. Mayor Scott Gillingham says the survey is a snapshot showing them where people see progress and where there is more work to be done. And in a statement writes, "It's good to see relatively high marks for police and ambulance response, fire protection, libraries, and rec programs. At the same time, folks are still concerned about safety and infrastructure, and that's where this year's budget is focused." The Winnipeg Humane Society was asked to leave a rural Manitoba agricultural fair for setting up an animal rights display.
It was their understanding that we would be coming to do promotions on cat and dog adoptions, and then we got asked to leave.
The Humane Society has been traveling to Manitoba summer festivals with this display, a life-size pig gestation crate, the type used on some Manitoba hog farms. The display also invites people to enter a crate for themselves to experience what it's like for confined animals. WHS says the display is sparking conversations about ethically raising livestock.
And it didn't mean that they always agreed with what we were saying, but we got to hear their perspective. They got some information and education, and they got to hear about the animal welfare issues, the concerns that we have with gestation crates. And the same was occurring in Hanover up until the organizers came and asked us to leave.
Hanover Ag Fair organizers released a statement on Facebook saying, quote, "It accepted the request for a vendor space under the assumption it would be promoting pet adoption programs. However, that's not the display presented. Therefore, they have been asked to leave." It wasn't imposed by Donald Trump, but a new tariff put in place by the Canadian government has some businesses and municipal leaders concerned. It's on stainless steel. And as CTV's John Musselman reports, it has some industry experts warning of massive price increases on infrastructure projects.
Well, stainless steel is the largest stainless steel distributor in Canada. They don't make it here. It's imported from Taiwan and stored in warehouses like this across the country. At this location in Mississauga, the pipes are cut up, molded, and prepared for use in critical infrastructure projects nationwide.
Water, wastewater, oil, gas, the LNG pipeline, the SMR projects coming up for the OPG power plants, shipbuilding, hospitals, food, beverage, agricultural, farming.
Shane Goff is the company GM. He has warehouses across Canada. He says clients, including municipalities, are facing massive price hikes on stainless steel orders.
I won't say the job, but it was about $2 million of stainless pipe for a plant in Toronto. Now it's going to be about $2.5 to $3 million just for the raw costs. So that's one little project. There's hundreds, thousands of these across Canada.
And Goff says clients and taxpayers, if it's a municipal job, will pick up those extra costs. The issue is related to the Government of Canada implementing tariff rate quotas this summer on imports of steel mill products from non-free trade agreement partners. Quote, "This measure will help stabilize the Canadian market and prevent harmful diversion of foreign steel from third countries into Canada while minimizing impacts on Canadian importers and downstream users." But stainless steel is produced on a limited basis in Canada, not enough to meet demand, and Goss says that's why it should be exempt.
I think just about every single client is concerned. A lot of them have taken projects a year ago at lower costs, now they have to absorb these larger costs.
Industry experts have written both the federal and provincial governments calling for an exemption on stainless steel, which they believe was an oversight when the tariff rate quotas were put in place. John Musselman, CTV News.
Marshall Islands have made history playing their first ever international soccer match. The Marshall Islands are a Pacific Island nation home to about 40,000 people. Last week they played the U.S. Virgin Islands and lost 4-0. But on Sunday they played Turks and Caicos and lost a close one, 3-2. The game was held in Arkansas, which is a place where there's many expats from Marshall Islands. So while they lost, no one was disappointed as players and fans got to share the moment together. Here's what's happening now in traffic along Confusion Corner. Things have picked up over here, as you can see, but overall appear to be moving quite well. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know.
Well, it's not the foggy morning that we woke up to yesterday, but certainly it is still quite cloudy, as you can see. 18 degrees with north winds on the lighter side, just 2 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 98%. Those heavier clouds won't be lasting all day long, but perhaps through the morning hours, that's what we're going to deal with. Not much to show you here on the satellite image. And throughout the province, the conditions are pretty much the same. The one place that might, or couple of places, that might be seeing a little bit of precipitation will be right along this most northern border, so Churchill, and then when we get over to the northwest, you'll see that Lynn Lake could also see some precipitation, showers, possible thunderstorms. For everybody else, mix of sun and cloud to mainly sunny conditions, although a few extra clouds will likely hang around in the Island Lake area. Anyone off to the east there might notice that. But look at these temperatures. They're going to be well above seasonal, pushing up into the mid-20s, right up into the north. There's Lynn Lake showing again the possibility of some showers or some thunderstorms. Everybody else through central and southern Manitoba, even if we do have these extra clouds hanging around first thing this morning, they're likely not to last through the day. As it clears out, the mercury on the rise, getting up into the high 20s. Neepawa Brandon could reach 28 degrees. We're not going to be quite that hot, but close. 26 in Winnipeg. A couple of places could be reaching 27 degrees. Just for a reference point, 24 is normal for this time of year. Just off to the east of us, I mentioned the heavier clouds up in the northeast. Well, some places might even still see a little bit of light drizzle lingering. Now, heat is going to be on, not just today, tomorrow too, even more so in fact, and still on Thursday above seasonal with potential for some storms. After that, temperatures will be dropping off significantly.
Thanks, Terry. Alberta researchers are working to unlock communication for people with autism. About 1/3 of people on the autism spectrum are nonverbal. As CTV's Kevin Fleming reports, one researcher has a personal connection to the proposal.
He's watching a video of a participant using a virtual headset to type out words from letters seen in a digital world. Diwakar Krishnamurtha is a professor at the Schulich School of Engineering and came up with the system.
My son is non-speaking when he was diagnosed, we were given the doom and gloom dire scenario. But actually, we discovered that he's quite a smart guy with a lot of innermost thoughts to convey.
It's those thoughts that Krishnamurtha wants to unlock for his son and other families dealing with similar situations. Manaf Abu Farf says he spent thousands of dollars on speech therapists for his 16-year-old daughter, with poor results. And when asked how it feels to communicate now, she said she was trapped inside for 16 years.
So actually for us, we are discovering our daughter. We are having our daughter for the first time. We are seeing our daughter for the first time. That's a huge turnover for us as a family and for Jenna as a person.
Travis Dow has traveled the country working with nonverbal participants for the project and says the system can include a virtual therapist to help them communicate successfully.
If you're dealing with hardware, it's, you get it as is, you buy it in the store, you make it yourself, whatever the case is. But with software, we can change so much. We can really, make it bespoke to each individual person. And that's, that can be really huge for these people.
Now Abu Farf says the world is opening up for his daughter. And Jana likes it.
What does that mean for you using this technology? She said it opens doors for me. And when we asked her which doors you are talking about, she said the door of university. She is dreaming to go to a university. And we asked her, what do you like? And she said, I like maths.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The team says it's now looking at securing government funding to make the VR Google system more widely available. Children all across Canada are getting ready to return to school. We're now just a couple of weeks away, and the young patients at a hospital in Toronto are no different. CTV's Pauline Chan has more on how they're preparing.
Grab the zipper and pull. 5-year-old Austin gets a hand going through the cool items in his new backpack.
What attracted Austin to the backpack was the bright, like the bright green he has.
But before he starts grade 1, he's got heart surgery scheduled for this week.
Sick Kids has been his first home. He spent the first 490 days at Sick Kids, and we never thought that he would be here today. Austin was born with a congenital heart defect, so it's called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Short form is HLHS, so he only has half a heart. For him, going to school, it's the socialization with friends. So he doesn't really learn in a regular setting, which we're still working on all that.
They have classrooms here at Sick Kids. We have an elementary epilepsy classroom that allows those kids who need a little bit of extra support, both with their educational programs as well as with any of their medical needs, to come to a classroom and have as normal experience as possible. That's for kids from grade 2 to 8.
The hospital also offers classes for teens who often express anxiety about being able to graduate with their classmates.
Any item that's in the backpack is really helpful to build the confidence and reduce some stress as our patients are starting the beginning of their school year.
This is the 20th year that Staples has had its school supplies drive and the first year that it's partnered with Sick Kids Hospital.
And while the backpacks are useful, many kids got just as big a kick
That was easy.
out of being able to honk the horn on the big Staples bus parked in front of the hospital. Kids also had a chance to mingle with friends and play some games. A day of fun before the schoolwork begins. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Do you love wine and a little VIP luxury? Then this is for you. We're giving away a Champagne Lounge VIP experience to the Winnipeg Wine Festival each week. That's for you and 3 friends at the RBC Convention Centre on September 26th and 27th. Enjoy exclusive wine tastings and support the Special Olympics while you're at it. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word taste. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live. Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 19th. It's 7 a.m. Thank you so much for being with us here on CTV Morning Live. A little later in the hour at about 7:52, we're going to get some reaction to the summit meeting that happened in the Oval Office yesterday between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. We're going to have that for you later, but first, your headlines. A major development, what we know about the tentative deal for Air Canada's flight attendants. Plus, ready for cleanup, which Winnipeg eyesore may soon be demolished. And a massive undertaking why a church in a Swedish town is being relocated. Bringing in Terry now. Yesterday was not a bad evening. Went for a walk. It was muggy, though. It was humid.
Yeah, you're going to notice that again this morning. There's some extra clouds hanging around, but that humidity is high. And the temperatures well above seasonal to kick off your morning. So even with that lack of sunshine, it's still fairly mild out there. 18 degrees is where we begin. Compare that to a seasonal low of 11. We've got very light winds, though, out of the north, 2 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, and yes, that humidity is right up there at 98%. The clouds that we're seeing right now aren't likely to last. Eventually, they will clear. The satellite image, not much to show you there because there's really not much going on throughout the province. It will eventually be a sunny day, even if we do have the extra clouds hanging around first thing. As the day goes on, things clear out pretty nicely. And the couple of places that could be seeing some precipitation today is in the most northern stretch of Manitoba, Lynn Lake over in the Churchill area. Possible showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Other than that, pretty clear. Now, tomorrow morning, bit of a different story. Central Manitoba could be waking up to some activity that starts to roll in the overnight hours. That'll continue through the central part of the province. And then once we're starting to look into the evening time, starts to move a little bit down into southern Manitoba. So the southwest by tomorrow evening, overnight, and then into Thursday. That's when we could be seeing some of that activity here in Winnipeg. And then throughout the province, much of Thursday has the possibility of showers or thunderstorms. Hot temperatures still for the next few days, or at least slightly above seasonal. 24 is a normal daytime high. Next few days will be above that. Next few days following that, considerably cooler, not even reaching the 20-degree mark this weekend. And our art today is another kind of mixed medium. Tornado season is what is spelled out there in the clippings. Thanks to Nora, 7 years old, for this, and we'd love to see your art, so draw, color, or paint for us. Send that to us to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Air Canada and the union representing its flight attendants have reached a deal. QP posting this announcement to its members today, writing, "The strike has ended. We have a tentative agreement we will bring forward to you. We're required to advise our membership that we must fully cooperate with resumption of operations." This comes after 3 days of job action by flight attendants who had been picketing outside of major airports across the country. They were demanding higher wages and to be paid when planes are grounded. Air Canada had offered a 38% increase in pay over 4 years and an hourly raise of between 12 and 16% in the first year of the contract. No word yet on the details of the final agreement, but union members will need to vote on it to make it permanent. If they vote it down, the strike could resume. A large eyesore on Logan Avenue could soon be coming down. The former Anco lumber building was destroyed by fire in 2023. And for 2 years, the rubble has just sat there. But as CTV's Jeff Gill shows you, the city is now set to demolish the structure and clean up the site.
Fire tore through Anco lumber on Logan Avenue in 2023. 2 years later, the building's massive skeleton and large piles of debris remain on the 1.1-acre lot.
It's this eyesore, and I don't know, I'd love to see it gone.
Richard Elias is the co-manager of this truck repair shop next door. He says the property attracts people looking for scrap metal.
Like, there's 2 stories. I've seen people on the second floor just rummaging through things, worried they're going to fall.
Now there's a plan to clean up the property. The city of Winnipeg is seeking a contractor to demolish what's left of the building and remove all of the material. Ward Councillor and Community Services Committee Chair Vivian Santos says the city has received complaints from businesses and residents about the mess.
It's a blight on our city, especially on Logan Avenue. It's a commercial district. So we have businesses and residents that are very concerned for either vagrant activity, fires.
According to the city, a wet demolition is required. That's a process to safely remove asbestos. The city has set aside $750,000 for the work. Santos says unless the owner can do the demolition before the contract is awarded, the city will get it done and charge the owner the costs.
Once it's been fulfilled, then they'll put the bill on the property tax.
This wouldn't be the first time. The city has been hiring crews to demolish other vacant fire-ravaged buildings after owners have failed to take action in a timely way. For this building and rubble, Richard Elias is happy bulldozers could soon be on the way.
A relief, yeah. In the end, very much relieved that it'll be taken care of.
Companies can bid on the contract to demolish the building until the closing date of August 29th. CTV News spoke with a real estate agent representing the owner, who tells us they aren't commenting. Crews at a St. Vital area fire station are being temporarily relocated due to road work, and the firefighters union says it could result in some delays.
Any interruption in apparatus availability in your neighborhood is going to result in extended response times.
The engine and personnel at Station 26 on Dakota will be working out of Station 14. That's because they won't be able to enter or exit the station for around 2 days due to work being done on the road right outside. While the union is concerned about response delays, the chief of the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Services tells CTV it strives to ensure effective coverage. The closest unit is assigned for time-dependent calls, but may not be coming from the station closest to the incident. U.S. President Donald Trump says he's now working on arranging a meeting between Russia and Ukraine to discuss the terms of a ceasefire.
We can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop.
Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and 7 European leaders at the White House yesterday. They talked about a peace deal, and Trump said he would back European security guarantees for Ukraine, but Trump told Zelenskyy he may have to give up some territory. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea, and now 3.5 years after it declared war, Russia controls almost 20% of Ukraine. This year has been one of the worst for wildfires in this country, and things don't appear to be improving.
Wildfires have consumed an area roughly the size of New Brunswick. And to put it in perspective, this is about double the usual average.
Government officials are warning of an increased risk of more wildfire activity, with above average seasonal temperatures persisting over the next 3 months in much of the country. Currently, there are more than 700 wildfires burning in Canada. 68 of them are considered out of control, and the national wildland fire preparedness level is at 5, meaning there's firefighters and equipment being used in every province and territory.
Our teams spent a good part of the weekend setting up preventative measures.
In Nova Scotia, an out-of-control wildfire is burning in West Dalhousie. According to Nova Scotia's Department of Natural Resources, it has grown to more than 3 square kilometers and has forced the evacuation of more than 100 homes. Annapolis County remains under a state of emergency. In New Brunswick, more than 30 wildfires are burning, but the province's largest fire has now been contained. The oil field road fire in the Miramichi area first started on August the 6th and is estimated to be roughly 1,400 hectares. As many as 13 bulldozers and other tractors managed to build a firewall around the fire, and water bombers attacked the wildfire over the weekend. Those resources, as well as some much needed rain in the area, helped bring it under control. Meanwhile, about 1,000 people will be able to return home in Snow Lake, Manitoba by the end of the week. The mandatory evacuation order is expected to lift Friday morning. 2 wildfires near Snow Lake are still considered out of control. There are 153 active wildfires burning in the province. A Swedish Arctic town is doing the unthinkable by relocating an iconic church.
I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I didn't think it was possible to move a church.
Kiruna is moving its entire city center to accommodate the expansion of the world's largest underground iron ore mine. This church and other buildings are moving to a new location about 3 kilometers away. The whole process actually started in 2018 and is, as you can imagine, a massive undertaking. Here's what's happening in traffic along Kennison and Sterling Lyon. Looks like things are moving well here. It's a pretty smooth start to the day. If you see any problems out on the streets, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who's live at the Manitoba Hydro place this morning. Some people are getting ready. In fact, in 20 minutes, they'll start repelling from the building, all for a good cause. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yes, they certainly will. To Rochelle's point, some of the first participants were just doing some training to my right here. Of course, with the TAC-10 team, it's a little quiet right now, but as Rochelle mentioned, in 20 minutes' time, the first repellers are going to be heading down the side of Manitoba Hydro Place. Of course, all in support of Manitoba Possible. Coming up throughout the rest of the show, we're going to be heading up to the rooftop of Manitoba Hydro Place, speaking with the people who train, help talk about, the weeks that lead up to this moment. Of course, 20 years for the event, which is really exciting. This got started, I guess, around 2005, and 75 years for Manitoba Possible, helping Manitobans living with disabilities. Those proceeds, of course, going towards. We're going to speak to some different organizations, of course, that are bringing their groups up to the rooftop this morning to rappel down the side of the building. So it should be a great morning. The temperature's pretty nice right now here on Edmonton Street. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes' time here on CTV Morning Live.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. And when you're rappelling down a building, you want specific weather conditions. Is it looking good for that, Terry?
I think this is pretty ideal. It's not too hot, a little bit muggy, but like not extremely so, mostly because while there is a bit of that humidity, sure, the sun is tucked away. So we've got this blanket of clouds, and as a result, things are feeling quite pleasant out here with above seasonal temperatures to kick us off, but not that scorching heat because the sun has got this blanket of clouds over it. So 18 comes along with a bit of a breeze, but only a very light wind. It's 4 clicks out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 99%. We will eventually see these clouds clearing out, but they're probably going to hang around through most of the morning, and then into the afternoon is when the clouds clear. The sun makes an appearance, and that's when we'll really start to feel the strength of the sun as it takes these temperatures well above seasonal. 24 degrees a normal daytime high. We'll head up to about 26, so maybe not well above seasonal, but it continues to heat up, and tomorrow could be even hotter yet. And these temperatures, they're going to be felt right across the province. So even in parts of northern Manitoba where high teens and low 20s would be seasonal, you too can expect to be up into those mid-20s for today. Like I said, even hotter for tomorrow. And then a round of storms is expected to be moving through Wednesday night and through Thursday. That, on the other side, will cause those temperatures to drop off when a cold front moves through, and we'll feel it this weekend. Temperatures not even reaching 20 degrees.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this. Good morning. It is 7:15. The University of Manitoba is denying it had inadequate security measures after a convicted sex offender allegedly assaulted a student in her dorm room last year. In October 2024, Winnipeg police allege a 46-year-old man entered a dorm room within a student residence building on campus and attacked a woman. Several months after the incident, the woman filed a civil claim against the university for an unspecified amount in damages. She alleges the university was negligent and failed to supervise the premises to prevent access by the perpetrator, and that she was sexually and physically assaulted as a result. However, in its statement of defense, the university said the woman's failure to lock her door caused the perpetrator to gain entry to her room, and not because of a security failure by the university. In a statement to CTV News, the university said it has multiple supports and security measures in place for students, staff, and faculty. The university is calling for the woman's claim to be dismissed with costs. Manitoba will begin offering a single-dose immunization for RSV this fall. Currently, the RSV immunoprophylaxis program for high-risk infants uses a multi-dose antibody treatment. But starting October 1st, a provincial spokesperson tells CTV the program will begin offering a long-lasting monoclonal antibody that lasts a full season. The switch comes more than a year after Canada's National Advisory Committee recommended the switch. RSV season typically runs from late fall to early spring, with most cases between December and March. Doctors in Quebec's eastern townships have found what they think is the first case of Rocky Mountain fever transmitted in Quebec. Rocky Mountain fever is a bacterial disease spread through the bite of an infected tick. It's common in the U.S., but less common in Canada, and it's never been seen in Quebec. A common symptom is a rash that develops a few days after a high fever. If it's not treated, the disease can lead to amputations, hearing loss, and brain damage. A family in North Bay has built a love-themed rock garden, and people are enamored with the sentiment.
In Aberdeen, they stop by with their dogs, and they've actually taken pictures of their own families in front of the garden itself.
The garden honors husband and wife Larry and Teresa as they celebrate their 66th wedding anniversary in a little over a month. Their love-themed garden features handmade decor, a stone heart, and love spelled in rocks. Here's a look at what's happening now along St. Mary's Road. Looks like things are slowly picking up over here, but no issues to tell you about at this point. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Here's some entertainment news now. This scary movie is still dominating the box office.
Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And do you know why?
Zach Cregger's Weapons is holding strong at the box office for its second weekend with $24 million US. In its opening weekend, Weapons brought in close to $44 million. Cregger made a name for himself with the 2022 hit Barbarian. His next project is a reboot of the Resident Evil franchise with Austin Ambrose. Fans don't have to wait too much longer for more of Wednesday.
Tyler's still out there. He has plans to kill both of us. I'm going to fix it.
The official trailer for Season 2, Part 2, is out. Lady Gaga will also appear in Part 2 as a Nevermore teacher. Part 2 of the series will begin streaming September 3rd, which of course lands on a Wednesday. This country star is going strong on the music charts. Morgan Wallen's album, I'm the Problem, has spent 11 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 200. It first debuted at #1 back in May. Wallen will be playing back-to-back shows in Toronto September 4th and 5th. He'll also be performing 2 nights in Edmonton a little later in the month. Are you ready for this trailer?
If you're in love and you find a connection, you have to fall in love with that person 25 times because people change, people grow, people become something different.
This is the new feature-length documentary that follows Youngblood during a pivotal moment of his career. It features 12 new performances from his 4th studio album, Idols. The documentary, Are You Ready, Boy?, will hit theaters tomorrow. You can catch him in Toronto, September 21st at the Danforth Music Hall. Kick off your prime time at 7 with E-Talk, followed by The Amazing Race Canada, and wrap up the night at 10 with Battle of the Generations, all right here on CTV. If you love great food and great football, this is something you won't want to miss. Exceldor is serving up the ultimate game day package, a delicious chicken mix pack to enjoy at home, fun, merchandise, and 2 tickets to see the Bombers take the field on September 6th. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word, chicken. Good luck. All right, looking outside, it's a cloudy start to Erin.
Yeah, it is, but it doesn't feel cold by any means. And sure, it does have a bit of a gloomy look, but I don't think that's going to be the case later on today. So just patience, grasshopper, we'll get there. But sure, for now, as we look through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years, you can see that we do have those extra clouds hanging around, but into the afternoon, they'll all be clearing out nicely, and that's when we're really going to notice those temperatures on the rise, although already this morning we're well above seasonal, 11 degrees, a normal low. So there you can see that most places are well above that. The closest to those numbers, Dauphin at 12 degrees, but most of us in the mid to high teens as we begin the day. And it's not just here in southern Manitoba, northern Manitoba as well. For most places, double digits, and I'm talking mid-teens. Thompson, a little bit cooler at 7 degrees, but you were at 6 last hour, so you're starting to make some gains as well. Again, the satellite image won't show us much today because we've just got a few extra clouds for now. They'll be clearing out as the day goes on. We can take a look at how the temperatures will be on the rise through the day, and you'll notice that it's not just here in the south, but northern Manitoba too will be in for those above seasonal temperatures. Noontime, high teens and low 20s. We too will be up into those low 20s by midday, and then pushing into mid to even some high 20s and right up into northern Manitoba. It's going to be a warm one today, but then it's going to get even hotter tomorrow. 26 on tap today, 29 for tomorrow, and Thursday still with the above seasonal temperatures, but the possibility of some showers or thunderstorms. A cold front moves in just on the other side of that, and you'll feel it with those temperatures as they remain below seasonal for the weekend. A beautiful, stunning shot of the northern lights and all of those stars out in Barons River. Thanks to Lottie for this. Keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Are you soaking up the Manitoba sunshine? Whether you're roasting marshmallows under the stars or dancing at your favorite festival, we want to see the special moments that make your summer shine. Upload a photo of your summer fun for a chance to win the $5,000 grand prize. You'll also be in the running for daily draws and tasty surprises from Chicken Chef. Plus, you could win one of 4 $250 gift cards from Wine Sense. So snap that perfect shot and share your summer with us today. If someone vandalizes your vehicle, who has to pay? Drivers are required to have liability coverage, and most pay extra for collision and comprehensive coverage. But as one Ontario man found out, you're still on the hook to pay the deductible. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
Randomly, someone just attacks your vehicle.
Rana Mashoud of Scarborough says he was returning home after a night out with friends when he was stopped at a red light. That's when a woman, without warning, started kicking the front of his vehicle.
She made a hand gesture, like as if she was pointing a gun. And then she ran up to my vehicle and started kicking it.
Mashoud says in a matter of seconds, his car was extremely damaged.
My whole front bumper, my grill is broken, my camera is broken. I have my sensors that are damaged. One of my headlights is gone.
He called the police and the woman was arrested, but he was upset to find out he would have to pay the $500 deductible, even though he feels he did nothing wrong.
You're the one who has to pay your own deductible because this is not another vehicle that hit you. It was a pedestrian.
Mashoud is insured with Allstate, and a spokesperson told CTV News deductibles are a standard component of many auto insurance policies, and that where possible, Allstate will pursue recovery from the responsible party and reimburse the customer's deductible if successful.
It is very standard in every auto insurance policy where you have optional physical damage coverage that there is a deductible.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says while Mashoud will have to pay the deductible, he can try to get the person to reimburse him by going to court.
There is the potential of the driver taking the offender to small claims court to recoup their deductible.
Michoud says he feels it's unfair that a person can vandalize his car and not have to pay to repair it.
As just innocent person, it doesn't make any sense to not only have my vehicle damaged, but at the same time be liable for a deductible.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up, we're going to hear all about how people are rappelling down this building. They're getting ready to start in 5 minutes. Stay with us for more details. In about 2 minutes' time, people will start rappelling down the Manitoba Hydro building, all for a good cause. And you're right on the rooftop there, Joseph. How's it feel?
It's a beautiful day this morning, Rochelle. Looks like it's going to be a great day for rappelling, and I'm very pleased to be joined again by Erin Taylor. She is the lead rope technician, helps make this all possible. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Yeah. Welcome back on the show. Talk to us a little bit about the setup that's happening right behind us right now.
As usual, we have 2 towers here, north and south. That's where our rappellers will be going down. We're joined by our technicians, local technicians that all have rock climbing training, extensive rock climbing training. And then as well as our TAC 10 team that is here from all the way from Nova Scotia. They're the ones that travel across Canada with drop zone.
For people tuning in this morning, I understand that people that are rappelling down the side of Manitoba Hydro Place get training at Vertical Adventures. Talk to us about what that experience is like.
Well, Vertical Adventures has been open for over 25 years in the city. It's one of the first rock climbing places in the city. And it's wonderful that they're still partnering up after all these years, the 20 years that they've been doing drop zone here. Participants come in and we do facilitate the training over the weeks prior to the day of the event, and they get to kind of see and practice all the functions that they need for the rappel to do it safely.
Aracel, I had a chance to have a conversation with you up here last year. 20 years for the event. You've been a part of it for a number of years now. What does it mean to you, raising money for a great cause and just seeing these spectacular views up here?
I think that Manitoba Possible is a wonderful organization. I, who work in childcare on a regular, it is near and dear to my heart. So, you know, to be able to tie in both passions of rock climbing and early learning, and as well as working with people with all disabilities, and for a great cause, like, it's a great time.
I have a lot of respect for the people who are able to do this, because I'm not that brave.
We'll get you on there one day.
One year I will rappel down the side of this building. It unfortunately won't be today, but we're going to have some more great conversations. We'll be back at 7:42 from the rooftop here, Manitoba Hydro Place.
I can't wait to see it. All right, thank you, Joseph. And yeah, you could almost hear a little bit of a breeze on the rooftop, but I'm sure it's not the same on the ground.
It was probably just the fans blowing, if I had to guess. Only because the winds are so very light, Rochelle. Nice. I think it's about a 4K wind right now, and you don't think you're going to be hearing that. Yeah, 4 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast, 18 degrees. Talk about a mild start to the morning, but you can see we've got these heavier clouds still lingering over the city. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 99%. So you might open the window, step outside, think it looks a little bit gloomy, but we're still in for a very mild day. Above seasonal temperatures expected no matter where you are in the province. Satellite image, not much to see. But as we continue on through the day, we'll see a lot more of that sunshine. The clouds will eventually be clearing out of the way. And as they do, the sun breaks out from behind them. That's when we're really going to start to feel the heat, with above seasonal temperatures expected. Heading up to 26 degrees, clearing through the day. North winds, they'll remain on the lighter side to about 10 kilometers per hour. Then those winds still light overnight after the sky clears, where they won't be seeing much tonight except for beautiful stars. You can do some stargazing tonight. The conditions ideal for it. A mild night at 16 degrees. That's well above the seasonal low of 11. Now, 24, I mentioned being a normal daytime high. Today will be above it. Tomorrow, even more so, up to 29 with a mix of sun and cloud and a bit more in the way of a breeze out of the south tomorrow. At times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. So that air will be moving. We'll be glad for it at 29 degrees. We might see some precipitation. In fact, it could begin Wednesday night, continue through Thursday. Still the above seasonal temperatures, but only for another day. A cold front moves in after that, and we'll feel it with those temperatures, not even hitting the 20-degree mark as we look ahead to a much cooler weekend.
Thanks, Terry. Investigators are trying to determine the origin of skeletal remains found in northern Manitoba. The remains were discovered Saturday near the community of Tetasquiac Nation. The lake has seen low water levels recently, making the remains visible in the sand. Mounties say the skeletal remains are historical. They've called in an anthropologist to find out how old the bones are and how they ended up there. The investigation is now underway. Toronto is rallying behind the mother of 8-year-old Jave Roy, who was killed by a stray bullet over the weekend.
It's finally the point where people are fed up and had enough.
Youth initiatives across Toronto are urging for swift political and corrective action to end the endless cycle of violence in the city. Toronto's police chief visited with the Roy family over the weekend, and Toronto's mayor Olivia Chow has vowed action. Marcel Wilson, family spokesperson, says he urges those angered by the shooting to not pick up a gun in revenge. A candlelight vigil for Jave will be held on Thursday outside of the Roy household. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Ontario Premier Doug Ford are giving their meeting in Ottawa Monday rave reviews.
Very good meeting with the Premier. We had a great discussion. Nothing happens immediately in that room.
Carney and Ford's meeting focused making Canada more globally competitive. They also talked about the automotive and steel industries, as well as the future of the AI sector. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc was in the room for yesterday's meeting, but left without answering questions about the state of negotiations with the U.S. Ford also said he doesn't have plans to travel to Washington anytime soon. Ford was also in Ottawa for the Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference Monday. He's urging more Ontario municipalities to put an end to remote work and to make staff go back to the office 5 days a week. This comes less than a week after Ontario announced all members of the public service would be returning to the office full-time in the new year. Deer and elk hunters in some parts of Saskatchewan will have to follow new animal testing rules this fall. They'll be required to submit the heads of their animals to check for bovine tuberculosis and chronic wasting disease. Wildlife management zones in the Yorkton area must test for bovine tuberculosis, while zones in North Battleford, Tisdale, Meadow Lake, and Nipawin need to test for CWD. This comes in the wake of confirmed cases of bovine tuberculosis among cattle herds in Saskatchewan over the last 2 years. A woman known as the Ketamine Queen is pleading guilty to selling the fatal dose of the drug that killed Matthew Perry. The Canadian actor was found dead in his Los Angeles home in 2023. The medical examiner ruled ketamine, which is used as a surgical anesthetic, was the primary cause of death. Prosecutors cast the 42-year-old woman as a prolific drug dealer. She had been scheduled to go on trial in September. And an update from the Middle East as Hamas says they've accepted a new proposal for a ceasefire with Israel. The proposal has been sent to Israel as Israeli forces prepare for a ground offensive on the Gaza city. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to continue the war until all hostages are returned and Hamas has been disarmed. Netanyahu said in a video to the public that Hamas's acceptance of the proposal shows that it is under massive pressure. A beach on Australia's east coast has been closed as a large shark bite has upset the community. Luckily, the surfer escaped with no injuries. Surfing legend Kelly Slater said the injury-free escape was incredible. An organization in the area dedicated to water safety said a boy was bitten by a shark in the same location 2 months ago. The organization says drones were sent up to survey the ocean after the incident. Do you remember where you were on August 18th, 1964? For Winnipeg Beatles fans, it's a day they'll never forget.
There they are, waving to our Channel 7 television cameras. Paul, George, Ringo, and John on the top step.
It's been 61 years since the Fab Four stopped in our city. The band was headed from London to San Francisco when its plane touched down to refuel. Crowds of screaming fans flocked to the Winnipeg airport to see the Beatles in person. CJAY TV, which eventually became CTV News Winnipeg, was there, and our reporter Bob Burns managed to chat with the band. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic along Kenniston Boulevard. Things are moving well here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.35. The provincial average is $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.33. The lowest price in the city is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Here's a look at what's happening right now. It is mainly cloudy, sitting at 18 degrees, and the humidity is at 99%. More CTV Morning Live is on the way.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Still cloudy out there this morning, and it probably will be through the morning hours. It's 18 degrees, so despite the clouds, it's very mild and not much of a breeze. A 4K wind out of the north-northeast with the pressure rising and the humidity at 99%. And like I said, those clouds aren't going to last all day long. Into the afternoon, things should start to look a little bit brighter and feel a little bit warmer, although as I mentioned, too, we're already above seasonal. Satellite image doesn't show us too much at this time. Once these clouds clear out, a fair bit of sunshine is expected across most of the province. There might be a few extra clouds hanging around if you're close to that eastern border, or if you're close to the northern border, Churchill, and then over in Lynn Lake, the possibility of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms. But aside from that, look at where these temperatures are headed, even with the possible precipitation or the extra clouds. I'm talking low to mid 20s, no matter where you are today. So that's well above seasonal for parts of northern Manitoba, who would typically be either in the high teens or low 20s this time of year. Here through southern Manitoba, where 24 would be a normal daytime high, most of us too will be beyond that. High 20s expected all through the southwest. Increasing amounts of sunshine. Sure, we've got a few extra clouds right now, especially here over the southeastern part of the province. But into the afternoon, those clouds break up. The sun comes out. The temperature's on the rise, and it's going to be warm today. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow. So a nice little blast of heat for those of you that have been missing it. And then for those of you that think the heat's a little bit too much, don't you worry. It's going to cool down on the other side of some midweek precipitation. So today and tomorrow, yes, mercury on the rise. By Wednesday night and into Thursday is when we could be seeing some showers, maybe some thunderstorms. On the other side of that, it's a cold front, and it takes those temperatures down considerably. High teens, not even reaching 20 degrees as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. We're talking about the Easter seals drop zone this morning. People are actually rappelling down the Manitoba Hydro building. They started at 7:30. And how are things going so far, Joseph?
Things are going great, Rochelle. Actually, the first participants just going down the wall to my right. And at this time, I'm very pleased to be joined by Lindsay Cook. She is the CEO, of course, of Manitoba Possible. Always a pleasure having you on our show.
Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Super exciting milestone year for your organization. 75 years. Talk about what that legacy means to serving Manitobans.
For sure. So we're so excited to be celebrating that 75th year. You know, we've been in our province since 1950. We started as a small grassroots organization concerned about the well-being of children. Not a lot of services available at that time, and we've grown over those 75 years to serving approximately 75,000 Manitobans every year.
And your colleague and I were chatting earlier in the 6 o'clock hour. 20 years for this event. Did you, when you started this 20 years ago, did you see this having its own legacy that it's had today?
Definitely not. I mean, we take each year as an opportunity. We're so fortunate to have the community supporting us, but, you know, to have had over 1,000 repellers, raised $2 million that stays right here in Manitoba to support people that need those supports. We're just incredibly grateful for the community support.
Give me a quick word on your organization, how it serves Manitobans living with disability. Where needs go towards, how it works.
Yeah, so we have a breadth of programs across really our entire province. We have 3 offices here in Winnipeg, 6 throughout the rest of the province. We have everything from wheelchair services, accessible parking, pediatric therapies. We have ASL classes for parents and the community. We have Comer programs, really you name it. We're probably there supporting community to access services they need. One
of the things I find really cool about this Easter Seals Drop Zone event, Lindsay, is all the individual participants are coming from their own backstory as to why they decided to do this today. Do you find that interesting?
You bet. I mean, I get to meet so many interesting people all day. This is my favorite day of the year, and they all bring a different story about why they're here. You know, it might be that they have personally received support from the organization. but often it's because someone they care about has. Some people just see it on Instagram and think it looks like a cool event, but given that we serve 75,000 Manitobans every year, usually everybody is connected in one way, shape, or form to one of our programs or services. So it's great to meet everyone and have their support.
Very well said. Well, Curtis, actually, the gentleman in the green hoodie I just spoke with a few minutes ago before we were live, he's going down right now. Wish him the best of luck. Looks like he's rocking it. We'll be back in the 8 o'clock hour, of course, from the rooftop of Manitoba Hydro Place, supporting Manitoba Possible.
Good luck, Curtis. All right. A 29-year-old has just made history. Brooke Johnson is the first woman to skateboard across the United States. As Danny New shows you, she was driven by a promise made to her late stepfather.
A record-breaking journey ending the same way it started, just 3,000 miles away.
There's times it's so hard. Oh my God, I've cried so many times. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl.
Brooke Johnson speaking with our station in Virginia Beach over the weekend. Oh my God! Moments after becoming the first woman to ever skateboard across the United States, hundreds were there to celebrate with her.
Was it what you thought when you got to the finish line?
No, I thought 5 people were going to be there.
I spoke with Brooke last night, finally getting some well-deserved R&R about 4 months after she started her journey.
We are heading out on the road officially.
The ride began at the waters of California's Santa Monica Beach.
This one's for Roger and everyone who has a spinal cord injury.
You just heard Brooke mention Roger, her stepfather, who passed away last year after suffering a spinal cord injury. In the 3.5 weeks between his accidental fall and his death, Roger was the one who told Brooke she should skate across the country and push him in his wheelchair across the finish line.
And I was like, Roger, it's a really big country. And he looked at me and he goes, well, you could do it.
After he died, Brooke decided to fulfill her promise while also raising $50,000 for spinal cord research.
I've had a really hard day today.
Brooke says throughout the journey there were so many times where she thought the trip was over until she feels Roger somehow sent her help.
He's like supported me through this whole thing of, it's actually crazy.
And 3,000 miles later, when Brooke finally reached the waters of Virginia, she was wearing this necklace with Roger's ashes inside. They were at the finish line together, just like they planned.
Roger left me purpose, and for that, I thank him every single day.
Hello, Laura Dyken here inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. For that, let us head to Washington and some NFL preseason action between the Bengals and Commanders. Jake Browning looking for Mitchell Tinsley, and look at this one. Deflected, Tinsley reaches out and makes the fantastic grab. Somehow comes down with that football. One-handed grab just before it hits the ground. Plenty more of that on the way for the upcoming NFL season. T-minus a little over 2 weeks before that. Well, tonight on TSN, WNBA action coming your way between the Lynx and the Liberty. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. Central Time. That does it for us here inside the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Well, the humidity is high this morning. There's a dampness to the air. There's a coolness to the air having to do with the lack of sunshine. We've got these heavier clouds hanging over us right now that even though the temperatures are well above seasonal, with the humidity and the lack of sun together, sure, it feels a little bit cool, but for those of you that don't like the scorching temps, get outside now and enjoy it. 18 degrees is where we're sitting with a north-northeast wind 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 99%. Gloomy looking. I'm not mad about it. I am pretty optimistic that we're going to be seeing that sunshine later on today. And because we've got the heavier clouds, it will make for a more pleasant morning, especially because these temperatures, they're going to get pretty hot today. No matter where you are, above seasonal temperatures are expected. Now, we have the heavier clouds for now, but then they'll start to clear about midday and into the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine as the mercury is then up into the mid to high 20s. And tomorrow, even hotter yet. So ramping up over the next few days. By Wednesday tonight and into Thursday, that's when we can expect kind of our next round of precipitation, the possibility of showers, maybe some thunderstorms. And then right on the other side of that, temperatures drop off drastically, so it will get cool as we look ahead to the weekend.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he welcomes a trilateral meeting with the U.S. and Russia. U.S. President Donald Trump says he's begun arrangements for the face-to-face session to discuss ending Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Trump announced the plan after Monday's talks with Zelenskyy and the leaders of Britain, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, the European Commission, and NATO. Joining us now from the U of M's Ukrainian-Canadian Studies is Professor Orest Kapp. Good morning, Orest.
Good morning, Rachel, and thank you for the invitation to join you this morning.
Well, thank you for joining us. Now, first, let's start off with your reaction to yesterday's meeting at the White House. How do you think it went?
It was a contrast from the one in Alaska. We should mention the one in Alaska was a real circus on a high wire. Something that was hastily arranged, meeting with Putin, which I believe ended in a political suicide and public disaster for U.S. diplomacy. Not only that, but I guess if you remember, Ukrainian president was in the Oval Office, and you contrast that with Putin's reception in Alaska, I guess you have to meet certain criteria to be properly welcome and get the red carpet treatment, such as being a dictator, threaten countries with nuclear bombs, occupy neighbors' territories, kill millions of innocent people, kidnap thousands of children, and be declared an international war criminal. That makes you get the real treatment in Alaska. With regards to the White House in Washington yesterday, I guess the tone, we could say, was warm, and for the audience, it was nice to see at least that the event was streamed live. But you need to keep in mind that right at that time, we saw a Russian peace in action, Russian bombing of the city of Kharkiv, and the destruction of Sumy National University in northern Ukraine. This morning we're talking about Poltava bombing also. If you're really serious about peace and at least taking some steps for going in that direction, then that's not the way to approach that process.
Trump did say yesterday that there was a possibility as part of this peace deal that Ukraine would be forced to relinquish some of its land to the Russians. What are your thoughts on that?
We have to keep in mind that it's not just land that is affected. It's not just the borders, but it's the million of Ukrainian lives that are at stake. And I guess Putin, as an example, was unable to take Donetsk, for example, for 12 years. And as we know, the constitution of Ukraine makes it impossible for the president to give up any occupied territories. So I don't see how that is going to progress in the process itself.
So despite all this, do you think that what happened yesterday is a positive move, that it's a sign for potentially a peace deal in the future? I'm always cautiously optimistic when it comes to peace guarantees. We have to approach that trilateral meeting if that's what is organized in Geneva or in Budapest. But one of the main criteria will be security guarantees. And that's really critical. And Ukraine needs reliable, credible security guarantees. And based on the past experiences, we Ukrainians are skeptical about guarantees, especially Russian guarantees, especially if we go back to the Minsk Accords and also the Budapest Memorandum. If you remember, President Bill Clinton requested Ukraine to give up its nuclear arms, cruise missiles, strategic bombers for return of security guarantees. And Russia was a signatory of that memorandum. Orest, thank you.
And nothing happened.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your perspective on this. We appreciate your time today.
My pleasure. Enjoy your day.
It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy 55th birthday to Karina, love Gerald, Megan, Kayla, and Bentley. And a happy 9th birthday, Renee Rose, with much love from family and friends. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on CTV Morning Live. Now, coming up at 8:15, Hockey Manitoba is bringing in a new policy. We're going to tell you what that is and how it's meant to protect young refs and officials. We're going to tell you what that looks like and how the plan is to expand it across the province. But first, your headlines. Air Canada deal reached. Flights gradually resume, but full service still days away. Plus, Trump calls for Russia-Ukraine talks, but could a peace deal cost Kyiv territory? And Humane Society removed from Manitoba Fair after a crate display sparks controversy. We have these stories and much more. Bringing in Terry now. It's going to be a start, or a cloudy start to the day today, but things are going to brighten up a little bit.
I think so. Yeah, probably about midday we're going to begin to see some improvements as far as the sky conditions go. Although it depends on what you call an improvement. I'm not mad about these extra clouds out there this morning. It's made for a slightly cooler feel to the day, even though at 18 degrees, there's nothing really cool about that. A seasonal low would be 11. So we are well above normal to begin the day with just a bit of a breeze out of the north-northeast, 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 99%. But yes, a change up in the conditions. Like, I'll check myself before I call it an improvement. Some people might like the extra clouds, but they're not likely to last through the day. We'll see them clearing out, increasing amounts of sunshine then, and increasing temperatures to go with them. Throughout the entire province today, mercury will be up well above seasonal. I'm talking mid to high 20s with the possibility of a bit of precipitation in the most northern parts of the province. So around Lynn Lake into the Churchill area, that's where we could be seeing some precipitation today. For tomorrow, the precipitation showing up through parts of central Manitoba. This is Wednesday morning. That'll continue through the day, and by Wednesday evening, starting to see it moving down into the southwestern part of the province. Overnight, rolling over into the southeastern part of the province. So this is overnight Wednesday, taking us into Thursday, and that's the day that we can expect a bit of precipitation. That'll be the last of the above seasonal days as well. Temperatures today and through Thursday will be above the seasonal 24, but then not even making it to 20 degrees when a cold front moves in and the mercury drops off. Slightly more moderate temps for the weekend. Another day of mixed arts, and we love it, Nora. Thanks for this. So creative. We appreciate what you've done, and we'd love to see what you're working on. Draw, color, paint, get creative, and send a picture of your art to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Breaking news this morning, there's some relief for thousands of travelers who had been left stranded, with a deal being reached between Air Canada and the union representing its flight attendants.
Bus is 3 transfers, not easy at all. So I suffered a lot, and I really want them to at least give me an apology and refund my money.
So I'm actually getting married on Wednesday, so it was so emotional and heartbreaking and everything like that. But likely they were able to cancel on time, so that it gave me an opportunity to seek other options.
Air Canada says it will gradually resume operations today, with its first flight scheduled to resume by this evening. However, they're asking for patience, advising customers that it may take 7 to 10 days for the airline to return to full scheduled service. The mediated deal was reached early this morning, and QP has since made the announcement to its members saying, quote, "The strike has ended. We have a tentative agreement we will bring forward to you. We're required to advise our membership that we must fully cooperate with resumption of operations." The Winnipeg Humane Society was asked to leave a rural Manitoba agricultural fair for setting up an animal rights display.
It was their understanding that we would be coming to do promotions on cat and dog adoptions, and then we got asked to leave.
The Humane Society has been traveling to Manitoba's summer festivals with this display, a life-size pig gestation crate, the type used on some Manitoba hog farms. The display also invites people to enter a crate for themselves to experience what it's like for confined animals. WHS says the display is sparking conversations about ethically raising livestock.
And it didn't mean that they always agreed with what we were saying, but we got to hear their perspective. They got some information and education, and they got to hear about the animal welfare issues, the concerns that we have with gestation crates. And the same was occurring in Hanover up until the organizers came and asked us to leave.
Hanover Ag Fair organizers released a statement on Facebook saying it, quote, accepted the request for a vendor space under the assumption it would be promoting pet adoption programs. However, that's not the display presented. Therefore, they have been asked to leave. U.S. President Donald Trump says he's now working on arranging a meeting between Russia and Ukraine to discuss the terms of a ceasefire.
We can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop.
Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and 7 European leaders at the White House yesterday. They talked about a peace deal, and Trump said he would back European security guarantees for Ukraine, but Trump told Zelenskyy he may have to give up some territory. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea, and now 3.5 years after it declared war, Russia controls almost 20% of Ukraine. Here's a look at what's going on the St. James Bridge. Things are pretty slow moving here still, as you can see. Not much going on this area or this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who's at the top of the Manitoba Hydro building this morning, where people are repelling and doing something great for a good cause. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. If you're just joining us, such a great event to highlight the Easter Seals drop zone and all the work that happens with Manitoba Possible. Very pleased to be joined by Darren Luke. He's the training coordinator for the organization. Pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Yeah, and of course, you're a volunteer for this event. Darren, you had a chance to do this 3 years ago and rappel down the side of this building that we're sitting on the rooftop of right now. What was that experience like?
You know what? It was a lot of fun. I didn't have really any experience from before, so to me, I wasn't scared. And it wasn't trepidation or anything like that, so I really quite enjoyed it. And, you know, getting to be on top of a 300-foot building and seeing all of Winnipeg was pretty cool.
Is it weird looking at the glass when you go down the side?
You know, it's actually quite funny because I was able to actually wave at some of the people that are inside their office buildings while I was going down, so that was a lot of fun too.
Talk to me a little bit your role as training coordinator and what the work you get to do for Manitoba Possible.
Yeah, so my job is includes basically just going out to the public and talking about accessibility and disability and inclusion. So I go to a lot of schools and a lot of organizations and just really educate people about those three main things.
An event like this, if someone like myself who's never done this before, or anyone tuning in, even groups that are going to be joining later today, what would you say to encourage somebody to get over their fear, if they have that fear, and rappel down Manitoba Hydro's place?
I think it's really important because it really does break down barriers of people that might have fear of heights and things like that, and it's an awesome opportunity to really get out of your comfort zone and do something that you maybe never have ever done before.
And we've been able to have, such as yourself, people that have a wheelchair, they're able to rappel down too, right?
So that, again, that's really breaking down those barriers and showing that people with disabilities can really do everything else everybody else does. They just do it in a different way.
Does it stand out to you, of course, 20 years since this event first started, and here we are today? I've been asking that all morning long.
Yeah, it's amazing that the fact that we've been able to do this for 20 years, and it's one of our major fundraisers that really do provide a lot of funds for, you know, camps and things like that for kids with disabilities. So that's a fantastic way to raise money.
Darren, it's been a pleasure to have you on our show this morning. We're going to be back with one more conversation with Manitoba Possible at 8:38. Stay tuned. In just about half an hour's time, we'll be right back.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Take a paddle down the Seine River and you might come across more than just Mother Nature. Garbage and other hazards are clogging up some portions of the urban waterway. And now a neighborhood group is cleaning it up, and its efforts are catching the attention of City Hall. CTV's Harrison Chin explains.
I try to come at least maybe once a week, you know, bring pets and walks and all that kind of stuff.
Dixie Funk walks her dog at Morier Park on the Seine River in St. Boniface. On Monday, she was frustrated by the amount of litter.
I picked up a blanket and some clothing. I got some more garbage in here. But it was along the river in the back towards the bush.
And the bank is not the only dumping site here.
As the river levels fluctuate, this year exceptionally low water levels in the spring, some of the foreign material like concrete and steel are exposed.
Daniluk says the debris also harms boats traveling the river.
And we did have a couple boats damaged.
That can cost thousands of dollars in repairs.
that's not what you'd expect to have boats exposed to. But the damage can be pretty severe for thin-skinned boats, like perhaps fiberglass or cedar strip canoes.
Now, he and a group of river lovers are asking for help.
We're asking for volunteers to help us identify the locations and what type of material that needs to be removed. And then depending on that location, it might need heavy equipment. It might be a winter event where we don't do any damage to the shoreline and we get larger pieces of equipment to that remote location. Some of it could be done with hand tools.
Daniluk says recently Mayor Scott Gillingham took interest in their project, something his office confirms.
The issue of this was raised by some of the paddlers with the mayor, and the mayor approached us after and said, I'd like to keep up to date on what's happening and what we could do to assist.
Dog walker Dixie Funk says she would love to see the park return to its former glory.
I honestly can't say that it was dirty. You know, there was not the garbage. This main area has been, you know, just kind of amping up a bit with the garbage.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
All right, still dealing with those heavy clouds, as you can see, as we take a look now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. But those clouds aren't going to dominate the entire day, perhaps the morning, but it just means it's going to feel a little more pleasant for those of you that don't like the heat, because the heat is coming back again in a very big way. Over the next few days, above seasonal temperatures are expected. And this morning, though we've got the heavier clouds, it's still milder than typical. 11 degrees would be a seasonal low temperature, and we've been well above that all morning long. Sitting at 18 degrees, the average temperatures here in the south, 15 in Melita, 14 in Dauphin. Dauphin was as cool as 12. That was the coolest that we've seen so far across southern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba, you're on the rise as well. We did have some single digits in Thompson, 6 degrees, the coolest temp that we saw there, but already up into the double digits now in the rest of the area, mid-teens. Now, many of us will have those extra clouds hanging over us, especially along the eastern side of the province. Might be a little bit brighter along that western border, but even these clouds will eventually clear. And with that sunshine will come the heat. Take a look at where these temperatures will be topping out through the day. Well, first of all, we'll stop it at midday, and you can see low 20s right up into the north, if not low 20s, high teens, and then pushing into those mid 20s or mid to high 20s across much of southern Manitoba, where 24 degrees would be normal for this time of year. We're headed just above that to 26, even warmer for tomorrow, 29 degrees. Precipitation could be moving in Wednesday night, continuing into Thursday, still warm though. And then on the other side of that, that's when the cold front brings in some much cooler temperatures as we're looking to finish off the week and kick off the coming weekend. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back in a moment with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Children all across Canada are getting ready to return to school. We're now just a couple weeks away, and the young patients at a hospital in Toronto are no different. CTV's Pauline Chan has more on how they're preparing.
5-year-old Austin gets a hand going through the cool items in his new backpack.
What attracted Austin to the backpack was the bright, like the bright green he has.
But before he starts grade 1, he's got heart surgery scheduled for this week.
Sick Kids has been his first home. He spent the first 490 days at Sick Kids, and we never thought that he would be here today. Austin was born with a congenital heart defect, so it's called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Short form is HLHS, so he only has half a heart. For him, going to school, it's the socialization with friends. So he doesn't really learn in a regular setting, which we're still working on all that.
They have classrooms here at Sick Kids. We have an elementary epilepsy classroom that allows those kids who need a little bit of extra support, both with their educational programs as well as with any of their medical needs, to come to a classroom and have as normal experience as possible. That's for kids from grade 2 to 8.
The hospital also offers classes for teens who often express anxiety about being able to graduate with their classmates.
Any item that's in the backpack is really helpful to build the confidence and reduce some stress as our patients are starting the beginning of their school year.
This is the 20th year that Staples has had its school supplies drive, and the first year that it's partnered with Sick Kids Hospital.
And while the backpacks are useful, many kids got just as big a kick
That was easy.
out of being able to honk the horn on the big Staples bus parked in front of the hospital. Kids also had a chance to mingle with friends and play some games. A day of fun before the schoolwork begins. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Hockey Manitoba is taking steps to address ref abuse in the game. Starting next month, all on-ice officials from the Pembina Valley region of Manitoba who are under the age of 17 will be required to wear a green armband when officiating a game. The move is meant to encourage respect on the ice from players, parents, and coaches. Joining us now to tell us more about this new initiative is Dustin Stewart from Hockey Manitoba. Good morning, Dustin.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now tell us how bad it's been getting for hockey refs and officials in the game.
Yeah, I think it's always, it's always a challenge, with officials and in any sport. And I don't think hockey is unique in that. But over the last number of years, we definitely have seen a rise. Hockey Canada has been doing more tracking when it comes to abuse of officials and just in general maltreatment across the game and tracking more of those cases. And we have seen a rise across all provinces, Manitoba included, in instances of abuse of officials. So with that in mind, as a branch at Hockey Manitoba, it's something that we've really been looking at a little bit more strongly in terms of ways that we can start to curb that issue a little bit and provide some more support to our officials.
Do you find the on-ice abuse on young refs and what they experience actually affects your recruitment efforts?
Yeah, I think, we've actually been lucky over the last couple of years. We've seen record numbers of officials that have been signing up and registering each season. But the biggest question is always when you have those officials who register and you have those kids who come into the game as officials, can you retain them? Can you keep them involved? Can you keep them coming back year after year as officials? And I think that's probably where, some of these instances of these negative experiences have an impact on those kids in whether or not they choose to come back and continue as officials. And that's where, this initiative is really kind of targeted towards, is that retention of trying to keep kids in the game on the officiating side, and then hopefully through that seeing more of an elevated recruitment effort to get more kids involved beyond that point.
And if you can't retain them, what effect does that have on the game?
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't have officials, you don't have a game. That's kind of a universal truth across any sport. Officials sometimes can be forgotten about within all the focus on athlete development, coach development, and all the things that happen in any sport. But within hockey, if we don't have officials, we don't have the game as we know it, and the game and the competitive nature that people across our country really seem to love.
Okay, so starting September 1st, all officials under the age of 17 will now wear a green armband as part of their uniform. Tell us how you're hoping this new initiative will work.
Yeah, the idea of looking at it to have these officials at 17 and under wearing the green armband is essentially to try and ensure that officials are being given the same opportunity that players are. Players are given that grace and that understanding that as kids that are coming through the game, they're learning and developing, and officials are doing the exact same thing. When you have officials that are 17 and under, they are still kids. And they have to be given that opportunity to develop and learn how to grow into the positions that they're taking. We need officials at all levels of the game. Our youngest officials come in at about 13 years old. And when you have a 13-year-old that's learning how to enforce the rules, how to manage the game, that is a learning process for them. So by giving them this green armband and identifying them as a developing official, as a younger official, it's hopefully going to provide that understanding with parents, coaches, and all other stakeholders in the game to give that opportunity for those officials to have a positive experience and continue developing.
And it's just starting off in the Pembina Valley region for now, but your goal is to expand it across the province. Is that right?
Yeah, we opted to go, starting a little bit smaller. This is an initiative that has been successful in some other provinces, Saskatchewan included. And looking at that, the hope is that we are going to see a lot of success through this. But anytime you're transplanting something from another province, you want to really take that opportunity to start a little bit smaller, see if there are some areas where there may be some tweaks, some changes that do need to be made and how it is run. So the Pembina Valley region was somewhere that we looked at as being, potentially a very good kind of representation as one of our larger regions. And with some groups that are there that are really bought into this initiative and I think are going to provide a lot of support to us to allow this to be a successful rollout.
Dustin, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's still cloudy out there, Terry.
It is, and I expect that'll probably last through the morning hours. So I'm not anticipating a drastic change until about midday, and then into the afternoon. That's when we're going to see the change up with the sky conditions. Temperature-wise, we really haven't moved either. We've been hanging around at 18 degrees all morning long, but that is in fact above seasonal. A normal low would be around 11. So it's milder than that, but it doesn't feel hot. In fact, there's a coolness to the air because we have these heavier clouds and the dampness from the humidity, which is still on the higher side. Northeast winds are 6 clicks, and yeah, humidity is sitting around 94%. So it's a little bit mild and muggy out here, a little bit cloudy too. And then once those clouds start to clear, which like I said will probably begin to happen about midday into the afternoon, things will be looking a whole lot brighter and feeling a whole lot warmer when these temperatures start to rise. And right across the province, mid to even some high 20s across southern Manitoba, and it gets even hotter for tomorrow. So we do still have a little blast of heat coming through the first half of this week, then some showers later this week, Wednesday night and into Thursday. Following that, you're going to notice those temperatures dropping significantly. Beautiful shot of the northern lights and the stargazing to be done out at Barron's River. Thanks very much to Lottie for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
One couple set its relationship goals sky high, and now it's paying off in a big way. As Jess Kirsch shows you, a video of the epic proposal is taking off online.
Tim Sullivan wanted to ask his girlfriend, Caroline Liggett, a very important question, and he did it without saying a word. All of that thanks to this in the fields below, a 13-acre corn maze outside Columbus, Ohio, spelling out, "Will you marry me, Caroline?"
I was just so shocked.
Caroline and Tim, who both work in agriculture, have known for months they wanted to spend their lives together. But Tim wasn't sure how to ask.
We both really like corn a lot. Not to be corny, but I want to do something that we would both be able to remember for the rest of our lives.
The idea hit him in late April. Popped the question with his family farm's annual corn maze. With help from computers and consultants, Tim designed and planted the maze. Then he had to wait for the message to grow.
Are you starting to lose patience? You told this guy in April you want to marry him.
Tim is quite the planner, so I knew it was going to be something quite elaborate. So I had quite a bit of patience with that.
Then earlier this month, they flew over the farm.
I look back at her and she's looking out the other side of the plane.
So they circled around and finally, love was in the air.
I've never seen her face light up as much as she did, and it was definitely one of the coolest experiences that we'll be able to tell for a lifetime going forward.
And back on land, Tim still got down on one knee to complete a proposal that was unquestionably amazing. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Good morning. They're short-legged, playful, loyal, and they have long, elongated bodies. Wiener dogs or dachshunds are a popular canine breed, and if you own a wiener dog, you can celebrate it with others at a special event called Wienerfest. Joining us now is dog owner John Waldman and his wiener dog, Oreo. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Hi, Oreo. Oreo's pretty quiet this morning.
Yeah, hopefully she stays that way.
This is your second breed of wiener dog. Tell us why, the appeal, because I mean, it's obviously Oreo. It's adorable, right?
A lot of it comes down to that some people are big dog owners. We always wanted small dog. We got our first amid our fertility struggles, and we just found that they're very, for lack of a better term, baby-like. You know, you have to be very mindful of carrying them. You have to be very mindful of how you're treating them and doing a lot of the things that they like to do as dogs, but it was certainly the right breed for us. There's no question.
And so Oreo, it has an elongated body, which is part of its charm, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to start Wienerfest, first of all.
We wanted to start, we'd already started a group, Weenie and Friends, and we were doing a lot of various events throughout the year. We had both indoor and outdoor group time for them just to get to have some socializing, which is very important for dogs. We also wanted to make sure that they were We just started to do all these extra events. We had a Halloween event. We started to do a winter party, Daction through the snow, and then it just came that we wanted to have something that was mid-year, more in the summer. After doing a beach party and after working with Winnipeg Sea Bears on their races, we figured let's do our own. Let's do one outside and enjoy the nice weather while it lasts.
Well, it sounds fun. And Oreo, tell us about Oreo. Like, what kind of personality does she have?
She is extremely friendly. We are very fortunate. She loves to be with her friends, and it's interesting that when you get dogs in a group, they do find their friends, just like humans do.
Yeah.
They have their ones that they love to play with, and you start to learn, and then you start to, well, you have play dates for them, you have things like that. But she's always been very good with walking. She's been very good with our daughter. She's just a really happy-go-lucky girl.
She looks like she's happy just sitting here. So Wienerfest really, it started last year.
Yes.
And you got a pretty decent response as well, right?
Yeah, we had about 80 to 90 people there, about 30 or so dogs, including the feature event, which is our races. We had 20 last year. We're going to have about the same this year. This year we're expanding it out. We're going to include some vendors that are going to be there, and we're going to have a variety of other schmoozing opportunities. And really, the festival is an open event. We pride ourselves on being open for all small dog breeds, and we also are just there for people who are curious about Dachshunds, who want to own one. There are a couple breeders in Manitoba that still have them available.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to have this opportunity to get out and enjoy a little bit of summer and let them have a little bit of fun together.
And she likes her snacks. Okay, so what's happening on Saturday?
So on Saturday at 10 o'clock, we are going to be gathering at the Valley Garden Community Center. We are going to be running our races, like I said. We're going to have some vendors, including a pet photographer who is going to be doing short shoots with our pups and their families, and it's just going to be an opportunity for them to roll around and enjoy themselves in one of the friendly rinks that allow dogs during the summer months to be running around on their own.
And Oreo won 3rd place last year in the race.
She did.
Wow,
so
that's great. Good job, Oreo.
Pressure's on this year, but we know that we're proud of her no matter what she does, and
Absolutely.
she just loves being part of this and seeing all of her friends.
Again, this is happening on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for doing this, John, and thank you, Oreo.
Yeah, the way Oreo's ears are flipped back like that, I think that it's either been a windy day or she's reached some very high speeds this morning. And considering that the winds are only 6 clicks out of the northeast, I'm going to say she's reached some very high speeds this morning. That's probably why she's so docile right now, sitting so relaxed and happy. It's 18 degrees outside, northeast winds, they're 6 clicks, like I said, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 94%. So light winds but heavy clouds, and that's what we're waking up to this morning. Along with that, above seasonal temperatures. It's going to be a warm one today, but it's not feeling excessively hot because of these extra clouds that we're waking up to. However, they're not likely to last through the day. We're going to start to see some clearing probably about midday, increasing amounts of sunshine then into the afternoon. And with the increasing sunshine will come the increasing temperatures up to 26 degrees. That is slightly above seasonal. 24 degrees, a normal daytime high. So scooting just a couple beyond that today. Clearing conditions, north winds staying light, those winds remaining light overnight, and by then clear and beautiful. Great to do some stargazing. And as we're approaching the new moon, it'll be very dark out there, so you'll be able to see those stars on display as we drop down to a very mild 16 degrees. A normal low would be around 11. So not just with the above seasonal daytime highs, our overnight lows are also quite mild. 29 for tomorrow, even warmer than today with a mix of sun and cloud and some stronger south winds. They'll be getting up to about 40 clicks, but at 29 degrees, you'll appreciate that breeze. That's going to flip Oreo's ears back. Let me tell you, those stronger winds tomorrow. 26 on Thursday. That's the day that we'll probably see some precipitation, maybe beginning Wednesday night and into Thursday. Following that, a drop with the temps, a little bit cool as a cold front moves in, and we'll feel that all through the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Canada's inflation rate eased slightly in July, rising 1.7% on a year-over-year basis. That was down from the 1.9% increase in June. Leading the increase was groceries, which rose 3.4%, and shelter, which edged up by 3%. Those increases were moderated by a big drop at the pumps as gasoline prices fell by just over 16%. Now all eyes will be on the Bank of Canada to see how it reacts to the latest figures. The University of Manitoba is denying it had inadequate security measures after a convicted sex offender allegedly assaulted a student in her dorm room last year. In October 2024, Winnipeg police allege a 46-year-old man entered a dorm room within a student residence building on campus and attacked a woman. Several months after the incident, the woman filed a civil claim against the university for an unspecified amount in damages. She alleges the university was negligent and failed to supervise the premises to prevent access by the perpetrator, and that she was sexually and physically assaulted as a result. However, in a statement of defense, the university said the woman's failure to lock her door caused the perpetrator to gain entry to her room, and not because of a security failure by the university. In a statement to CTV News, the university said it has multiple supports and security measures in place for students, staff, and faculty. The university is calling for the woman's claim to be dismissed with costs. This year has been one of the worst for wildfires in this country, and things don't appear to be improving.
Wildfires have consumed an area roughly the size of New Brunswick. And to put it in perspective, this is about double the usual average.
Government officials are warning of an increased risk of more wildfire activity, with above average seasonal temperatures persisting over the next 3 months in much of the country. Currently, there are more than 700 wildfires burning in Canada. 68 of them are considered out of control, and the national wildland fire preparedness level is at 5, meaning there's firefighters and equipment being used in every province and territory.
Our teams spent a good part of the weekend setting up preventative measures.
In Nova Scotia, an out-of-control wildfire is burning in West Dalhousie. According to Nova Scotia's Department of Natural Resources, it has grown to more than 3 square kilometers and has forced the evacuation of more than 100 homes. Annapolis County remains under a state of emergency. In New Brunswick, more than 30 wildfires are burning, but the province's largest fire has now been contained. That oil field road fire in the Miramichi area first started on August 6th and is estimated to be roughly 1,400 hectares. As many as 13 bulldozers and other tractors managed to build a firewall around the fire, and water bombers attacked the wildfire over the weekend. Those resources, as well as some much-needed rain in the area, helped to bring it under control. Meanwhile, about 1,000 people will be able to return home in Snow Lake, Manitoba by the end of the week. The mandatory evacuation order is expected to lift Friday morning. 2 wildfires near Snow Lake are still considered out of control. There are 153 active wildfires burning in the province. A family has turned to a thrilling distraction to help cope with the unexpected twists and turns at home. CTV's Rahim Ladhani explains.
They're one of thousands of people who have been evacuated from their homes, displaced by wildfires burning in Manitoba, and have been living in Niagara Falls.
Really rough. But I miss the trees, the fresh water, and being out in the lake in our cabin. I miss that. And it's hard being in the city.
While the adjustment has been challenging, getting to ride the roller coasters at Wonderland is a welcome distraction.
I always wanted to come here.
It's a distraction for the grandchildren. I think they're going to really enjoy it.
I'm going to try the scariest roller coaster at least once.
250 members of the Matthias Colomb Cree Nation, also known as Puckatawagan, and members of Nelson House First Nation are at the park today, with possibly another group later in the week.
Canada's Wonderland has partnered with Xpera, Canada's largest national risk mitigation firm. Over the last 4 years, this partnership has hosted around 4,000 First Nation members who have been displaced by fires and flooding.
We're here in the business of fun, but we want to put particular effort towards those families who are perhaps going through a hard time, and give them at least one day, to look forward to.
Creating joyful memories during a time of hardship. Rahim Ladhani, CTV News.
Here's a look at what's going on in traffic along Donald Street. Looks like traffic volumes are still light at this point in the drive this morning. No issues to tell you about. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.35, while the provincial average is $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.33. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live at the Manitoba Hydro building. Some people are rappelling down this building today. It's all part of the Easter Seals drop zone. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. It's been a great morning so far, highlighting an event that's celebrating 20 years. Very pleased to be joined by one of the ambassadors from Manitoba Possible, Megan Pedno. Pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Megan, what was your experience like last year when you gave this a try, rappelling down Manitoba Hydro Place?
It was so fun. You know, I was really nervous at first, kind of the day before, and then the day of, I was not nervous at all. When I got on the roof, I was just calm. It was super fun. It was exciting. The TACTIM team is awesome. Yeah, it was a great experience.
And talk about your role as an ambassador. Why did you decide to become an ambassador and your connection with Manitoba Possible?
Yeah, you know, it's really special to be a part of an organization that impacted my life so positively when I was a kid. I wanted to be an ambassador just to help advocate for the disabled community and to help make our society more accessible and inclusive.
We see this event, you know, it's been around now for 20 years. What has it meant to you knowing proceeds are helping people like yourself and thousands of others here in the province?
It's incredible. You know, I honestly can't put it into words how much it means to me and how much it means to other people. We're just so grateful for the support.
It's a fun question I got to ask earlier on in the 8 o'clock hour. If you were somebody like me or someone tuning in this morning was a little scared to be able to do what you've done and many others, what would you say to somebody to encourage them to take part in an event like this?
Just go for it. Be brave and, yeah, just have fun. It's a really great experience.
And your training went pretty well for the most part too?
Yeah, it's great. The team is awesome. They're very supportive and encouraging, and yeah, they just calm you, and it's such a fun time.
Anything else you'd like to highlight about your role as an ambassador, or just what your experience has been like working with the organization?
It's been incredible. You know, everyone at Manitoba Possible is so inclusive and awesome. Just so fun to work with people that, you know, care about disabled people, and yeah, it's been great.
And your partner is going to be doing this in a couple hours' time.
Yeah, my husband will be rappelling with me this year. Yeah.
Right on. Well, there's so many people rappelling down Manitoba Hydro Place today, all in support of Manitoba Possible. You can see some of the action if you walk over to Edmonton Street here downtown in Winnipeg, and we'll have more information from everything on a link on our website.
Something cool to check out today, indeed. Thank you, Joseph. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Still cloudy, but it's going to clear up.
It will eventually, but I'm not even minding the extra clouds out here right now. It's not exactly cold, but there's a coolish feel to it. And then, of course, the fact that it is going to warm up. We're going to get that contrast through the day from the slightly cooler morning to a warm afternoon as the temperatures rise and the sky begins to clear. 18 degrees is where we're sitting right now with very light winds out of the northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 94%. That humidity is starting to drop off a little bit, so that might make it feel a little bit better, especially once those temperatures start to rise, because no matter where you are today, mid to high 20s are expected, and then even warmer for tomorrow. So right up into northern Manitoba, the mercury up in the mid-20s. Now, western Manitoba will be a lot brighter this morning than eastern Manitoba, but by later on today, even eastern Manitoba will begin to see the sunshine. And with that sunshine, like I said, will come the heat, but not as much as tomorrow. We'll probably top out at about 26 degrees this afternoon, but then get up to 29 degrees tomorrow. Now, tomorrow will likely come with a stronger wind, whereas today the wind's remaining light. Tomorrow we've got hot temperatures, stronger winds, and then the chance of some precipitation, and that'll likely be into the evening overnight. That'll take us into Thursday. So Thursday could come with showers and thunderstorms through the day. Still some slightly above seasonal temperatures, but that will be the end of the little warm snap that we'll have experienced, because the latter part of the week and into the weekend, temperatures dropping off. We're not even going to be hitting the 20-degree mark as we look ahead to a cooler weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Good morning. Winnipeggers are largely satisfied with life in the city, but safety and road repairs remain among the top concerns. This according to the annual Resident Satisfaction Survey. 86% of respondents say their quality of life is either good or very good. As you can see, that number is largely on par with previous years and has gone up for the first time in 4 years. And when it comes to customer service, 3/4 of Winnipeggers feel the city is doing a good job. Snow removal also got a passing grade, continuing a year-over-year trend. When it comes to city services, things get a little more complicated. Again, the majority here, 72%, are very or somewhat satisfied, but that's also the fifth straight year of decline. And a closer look reveals why satisfaction with rush hour traffic has plunged. The condition of major streets also down, and residential streets is even lower. And ease of getting around by transit has also dropped below 50%. And it's worth noting this survey was done before the city overhauled the transit system. And then there's safety. 58% of people feel safe walking around their own neighborhood, the lowest level in at least 5 years. And when it comes to downtown, only 12% feel safe walking alone at night. Mayor Scott Gillingham says the survey is a snapshot showing them where people see progress and where there is more work to be done. And in a statement writes, it's good to see relatively high marks for police and ambulance response, fire protection, libraries and rec programs. At the same time, folks are still concerned about safety and infrastructure, and that's where this year's budget is focused. Do you remember where you were on August 18th, 1964? For Winnipeg Beatles fans, it's a day they'll never forget.
There they are, waving to our Channel 7 television cameras, Paul, George, Ringo, and John on the top step.
It's been 61 years since the Fab Four stopped in our city. The band was headed from London to San Francisco when its plane touched down to refuel. Crowds of screaming fans flocked to the Winnipeg airport to see the Beatles in person. CJAY-TV, which eventually became CTV News Winnipeg, was there, and our reporter Bob Burns managed to chat with the band.
All right, summer is flying by, school just around the corner, and nobody that I would trust more with a back-to-school haul than someone who has 3 girls in different stages of school. Taylor Kay, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good. Yes, we got everything covered from elementary to high school to even the dorms.
Love that. All right. So where do you want to begin?
Let's start with elementary because I think that's an important thing, and also I will say, Terry, the one thing that I do is I give my kids gift cards with certain amounts on it because you also want to teach your kids financial literacy too, so that they're not, it's not a free-for-all when you're going shopping.
Taylor, that is brilliant. So you decide where you're shopping, in this case, Walmart, give them a gift card, and then kind of let them have at it.
Yeah, exactly. And, you can go in-store and online for all the stuff that I'm going to show you here from Walmart. They've got everything you can see here. It's all affordable, your one-stop shop. So let's talk about elementary school and the backpacks. Everybody wants to have fun backpacks. And the one thing, that will be cost effective is buying a backpack with the lunch pail included and the water bottle. But I know because I've got 3 kids, sometimes they don't want that. They want the Disney princesses or, the Marvel characters and stuff like that. You can do that too. And you can complement that with your backpack. And again, having the kids go online, take a look or go in store and then writing down how much things are. And again, they can gauge I want this backpack, but I want this water bottle. It teaches them a little bit. Yeah.
There's a whole life lesson in there too. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. We've got to talk about the school supplies and stuff like that. Not just the backpacks, but what goes in them.
Exactly. The stationery and all the apparel and all that kind of stuff. And again, Walmart has got you covered from Bic to Sharpie. And the one thing that I do, Terry, is I have I'll buy extras for my for our workstation area. And our workstation area is in the kitchen so that I can monitor what the kids are doing. Even we're going to talk about computers and stuff like that. Just having one kind of workstation so that while you're cooking and doing stuff, you can watch the kids, doing their homework. They've got their whiteout still. There's, you can still, people are still writing. Not everyone's still using just ChatGPT. Yeah. There are essays being written.
Love that. All right, let's talk about those computers now and all the other tech gear involved.
Well, yeah, and Walmart's has got you covered from Chromebooks. So, I'll have we've got one book here and but if you have multiple kids and depending on your budget, because again, it is affordable at Walmart, you can grab a couple of laptops or you can have one, laptop in that one area. We've got a printer from HP. And again, having that workstation so that, when things, I know when things at 9 o'clock at night, a kid's school project is due. Oh, yeah. I know I've got, and you're like, where's the post board? Where's the Post-it notes? If you've got that station ready to go. But again, a lot of fun tech gear. There's also headphones. I love this. This is the Galaxy Smart Fit watch. So maybe for the older kids, and then having little mouse that you can carry around for different laptops. Fun. Again, they got taken care of.
All right. You've also got them covered if they're headed off off to the dorm rooms and they need a little kitchen stuff, the essentials.
Yeah, kitchen stuff. And even I will say for their dorm rooms, there's a hydraulic desk that I got my daughter because she's off to her university. And I actually want it for myself, Terry, because this desk raises and lowers. I'm like, I could put like a little treadmill behind that. But even for the dorms, like a little, a light, a blanket. And then for snack stuff, having those kitchen appliances, check with your university and residence what you're allowed to have, but maybe a little rice cooker. Also, air fryers. They can do anything. This is the Ninja air fryer at Walmart. So you can make cookies, you can make, you know, chicken breasts, you can do everything. Like my daughters made cookies last night in the air fryer. So, and I'd show them here, but we ate them. So.
Of course, they're meant to be eaten. I love that idea. You teach them the skills that gets them through the week, but they're still going to come home on the weekend for your cooking. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
And exactly, you know what? And you can get all of this stuff from like grade school all the way up to dorms and all of your essentials at Walmart, in-store and online at walmart.ca.
You make it so easy. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Taylor.
Thank you.
All right, we are still dealing with these clouds. I shouldn't say it like that. I knew we were going to be dealing with these clouds, and we likely will yet for another few hours. So just relax, be patient. The sky will probably clear, but it will take until later on into the afternoon before we see that happening. Even with the clouds, though, well above seasonal. A normal low would be 11 degrees. We're starting out at 18. That's as cool as it's been all morning long, with winds very light out of the northeast right now, 6 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 94%. So sure, we've got the clouds. They're not really showing up on the satellite image. In fact, nothing is showing up on the satellite image because aside from the clouds, there's really nothing going on. And even western Manitoba isn't even dealing with clouds the same way. It's more of an eastern Manitoba thing, and mostly through the morning. So as I mentioned, into the afternoon, the sun begins to bust out from behind the clouds. And as that happens, it starts to throw a little more heat our way, perhaps more than you would expect this time of year. 24 would be a normal daytime high. We're headed up to 26 degrees today. And it's not just southern Manitoba. Right up into northern Manitoba, mid-20s are expected. It's going to get even warmer for tomorrow, 29 degrees. Now, while today will be 26 with very light winds, tomorrow a few degrees warmer, but a stronger breeze is expected. Winds out of the south could at times be gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour. And boy, will we be happy for that breeze at 29 degrees. Still warm and above seasonal as we continue through the week on Thursday, but the precipitation will likely start maybe even Wednesday night and then continue into Thursday. So showers, possible thunderstorms, still the above seasonal temperatures, but that all comes to an end after that storm moves through. A cold front settles in and those temperatures drop drastically for the weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
Well, let's wrap this up. Food and bird feeders are a popular snack for most animals, even this one. Look at this, nothing like a sneaky snack for this black bear. This bird feeder, Cam, caught this gentle giant slurping up some peanuts in someone's backyard. This big Bruin is just getting the bare necessities of life. Look at him. Of course he's going to eat it.
Oh my goodness.
It's right there for him. Well, there's a first time for everything, and this was a frozen first. Oh, it looks like they're going to bury it. What is this thing? These meerkats aren't sure what to do with this cool treat. After scratching it, trying to bury it, and scratching it again, they realized the frozen food was a refreshing snack and couldn't get enough of it. Wasn't that sweet?
We're probably going to bury it for later. I like my popsicles to be just a little bit like, not
gritty,
mush, but like, yeah, not ice cold.
Sandy. That does it. See you tomorrow.